but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway.
Let's go. Oh, shit.
You're not supposed to see this, but I'm showing it anyway. But I'm showing it anyway. But I'm showing it anyway.
We got it. I think we got it. Hold on. Yeah. I'm not sure. One second. I think we got it. Hold on. Yeah. Yo, it's daytime action. Okay. So I think it was audio, right? So here we go. So it's this one. Look at this shit. That's somebody that's showing shit. Just see y'all. Yo. Let's go. See if we can get this motherfucker on there and pop in. But yeah, even though, salutes to all the amigos in the motherfucking chat. Let's go.
I can't think of one person that gave me $1 or a coin. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you plenty of people that goddamn it doubted me, plenty of people that goddamn it that they like what I do, love what I do, but just hate the nigga that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that.
Tycho in the building. Okay. So I don't know. Obviously I don't wish harm upon people. So yeah, if that's crazy, Victor Conte passed away. Is he significant in the sport of boxing? I don't think he is. I don't think that Victor Conte is significant in the sport of boxing. I think he's been somebody, and I'm not saying like, well, fuck that guy, but at the same time, I don't think that he is beneficial. He's been more controversial to the sport of boxing. So yeah, he could have honestly, supplied people with the right vitamins, amino acids, proteins, and all the rest of the stuff, right? But it was always under a like under a microscope. So like a lot of his fighters have been under that microscope, even to this day. So I'm not saying like no. How would I say it? Like, oh, well, rest in peace, Vizcante. Yes, of course, for anybody. But I think that he did cause some type of scrutiny on the fighters that he did support, that were part of his whole entire thing, right? Snack. I don't know. Am I crazy? But yeah, we shall see. So this is the thing. Yeah, the formula must be in safe hands. But see, that's the thing. That he was a chemist. That motherfucker was ahead of his time. He was kept on doing this shit. How long can Snack survive after Victor Conte? But yeah, this wasn't the too much money left on the table for people to walk away. Yeah, they're going to be doing it. But it was him, that he was the one that did that shit. He was the one that was able to do that. It's crazy how performance enhanced drugs are able to bypass all of this shit. But I do think that a lot of this shit was based on Victor Conte and his reputation in the sport. I don't think that anybody's gonna have the credibility or like the, how would I say it? Like, okay, this motherfucker knew people. He knew people in the sport athletic system, right? Whether they were track stars, all of the rest of the people that are providing these athletes, right? He's been around them for a long time. He's gonna go away. He was one of the ones that was around. So he's gonna go away, or he's gone if he passed away. I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Do you feel like, oh, rest in peace? The question is, will it be as effective without him? Will we now stop seeing so many fighters draining down the bullying up to, yeah. So, well, okay. So this is what I think. I think that eventually they will be able to catch up to the system that Visconti was able to provide. He was able to be a step ahead of these systems that were catching people that were on performance enhanced drugs, right? So eventually they're going to be able to catch up to them, because that was what Visconti was able to provide. He is notorious for doing that. He self-admittedly said that he can bypass all this shit. He's ahead of this shit. So there is ways, just like we see this in certain things, right? So like drugs, like weed, methamphetamines, and things like that. They're not classified as illegal because they changed the like the what is it like the it's not the DNA. It's like the genetic makeup of it, right? They just change a little bit of it, and it's legal. So I say RGM. What's up? What way RGM? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that I don't know if his team is like that. I don't know. Chemical structure, yes, exactly. The chemical structure, you just change it by a little bit, and then it's not the same as the one before it. So I think that he was ahead of that. Yes. Well, my anchor, I like it. I like it. Yeah. So we're doing it. Yeah, I am angry about something. So okay. So if you guys didn't see, or you're not watching or paying attention to this three-eye atlas shit, this is crazy. So I did want to talk about it. I don't know. I'm fascinated by it. So it's all over the news. It's been around, and I did a whole bunch of coverage of it. You know what I'm saying? But now everybody's talking about it. We're getting closer to this shit, and we're seeing a whole bunch of fucking things happening in the world, right? So that's the only reason why I did that. I like it. But yeah, so Tycho, what is snack going to do? That's okay. Did we see this coming with what to call it? Him passing away? That's crazy. Vincent Conte? That's wild. He did build up. Yeah. If you guys don't know about that, no, I've been talking about a whole bunch of different types of things, but it's everywhere now. It is mainstream. So okay, let me try to get this shit going real quick. It's wild. It is what it is. Should we talk about it? Should we focus on that? I like, I like this shit. Conspiracy theories is my thing. Because we don't know much about this shit. It could be crazy. It could be a nothing. But yeah, we're gonna be seeing this shit soon. That's crazy. See, that's the thing. For me, just like the what they say, if you don't have anything like good to say, don't speak on it. I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't be like, oh well, um, I'm indifferent. Do I? Yeah, it is nasty work. It is nasty work. But that's the thing. Okay, you don't kick somebody when they're down, especially when they're dead and they can't respond. So it's crazy when if Tank is tweeting that. Okay, send me that link, Taco. This is the thing though. Tank is so you know, don't judge other people when you're being judged. Tank is being judged. So Tank is about to lose $50 million because he's abusing women according to people, right? For domestic violence. So who the fuck are you to throw stones? Right? When you're living in a glass house. I don't know. It's crazy. I wouldn't do that. If I like and I'm not gonna do that now. Like I'm not gonna judge what what's his name did. Of course. See, the thing with like all of these like let's look at what's his name for instance. let's look at Valco, right? They were ahead of all this shit. The supplements, the drugs, the system, the program, things like that. It is what it is. Okay. But here we go. Here we go. Let me get this shit on and popping. This is wild. Shout out to RGM. Make sure. Saludos. Shout out to Tycho. Alright. I do want to do some conspiracy theories. If you guys want to join the panel, you guys can join the motherfucking panel. I'm gonna change this shit up real quick. Hold on. Watch this shit. 1 second. Is it this one? Nope. There you go. 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 Why is my shit red? Okay. Fuck. I got Twitter. I got Twitter for the strippers. No. My Twitter is fucking crazy. How do I have Twitter? Hold on. Wait, give me 1 second. Yeah, Twitter is fucking crazy. I'm scared to show Twitter. Because Twitter be showing fucking titties. They be showing every single fucking thing. Be showing everything. Should I move my monitors away? Okay, there we go. Okay. Gotcha. Can you send me a picture? I'm on Discord. Are you dropping in the chat? You got the link. You got it. Don't worry about it. You can send the link. You got access. You can send links. You can do that. It's all good. Okay. Go studio mode. Ooh, studio mode. Where my shit at? We'll see right now. We're gonna be getting crazy now. Now. There you go. Transition. Boom. There you go. Yeah, we there. We here. We live. Okay. I got you. But see, that's the thing. See, I see the image. I'm not gonna post it. So if he's saying that people that are on snack, so okay, what's the definition of performance enhanced drugs? Yes, it is going to. I don't think they're drugs. They're performance enhancing, right? Not necessarily drugs. So the system that they developed is a system of providing you with all of the things that you need. Vitamins, cause like I saw that shit. They have a special system for other athletes. I think Timothy Bradley talked about this shit. So yeah, I don't know. Who are we to say that he's actually providing what is it? Steroids or anything like that? Bro, you don't know how okay. Have you ever done like P90X? You can get in shape. You can get in shape real quick. And then you eat right. You take your vitamins, you keep track of all of your intake, whether you have your vitamin B, your vitamin C, all of those things balance. you're gonna be healthy. You're gonna be a working machine. Especially if you're eating right. If you're eating like lean fucking proteins, you know what I'm saying, you're taking in the right amount of carbohydrates, like you can be healthy. You don't need fucking steroids. I don't know. So I do think that he's made it to the point where you can have a whole entire system. And then you get the extra system. The extra system that they have is that when they go to the snack, like the laboratory, where they're having breathing, where they have the mask and they're running on the treadmill, I'm saying, how much does the body absorb oxygen, right? So you need oxygen, you need proteins, you need carbohydrates, you need vitamins, you need all of those things, all of that shit. So like if you've seen like what's it called, like Mikey Garcia, he went through that shit, same thing on snack. I don't know. Just RGM, what up? Hold on, wait, let me see. RGM talking about RGM, what up? Here you go. Let's see y'all. Okay. Let me drop the link for y'all. I'm gonna invite everybody in here. Talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. My whole thing right now, is this shit. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show y'all this. Cause we're getting closer to this shit. Is it something? Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. Almost lost track. Cause it's gonna be wild. We'll play some games too. That's my boy. That's my boy Sweet Calf. Hopefully he comes through. Nice. We're gonna play some fucking Battlefield 6. That's it. Okay.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
In 1994.
Okay, here we go. I didn't want to do this too young, but I have to. This is why we did the whole entire video. What we're doing the video, okay? Share screen. We're sharing the screen. Right? You're here for it, we're here for it. It's gonna get real. It's gonna get real in the motherfucking field. Here we go. So I'll see y'all.
In 1994, Serge Monast revealed a
Wait. Because this is what's going on right now. I don't know if I don't know. I think this is what's going on right now. Wait, what the fuck? Go fix all this shit. Okay, here we go.
In 1994, Serge Monast revealed a terrifying secret. A plan by world leaders to fake an alien invasion, rewrite our history, hijack our faith, and lead us to a one-world order.
See, I don't know if it was him. I thought it was somebody else. So I do remember seeing this, like, he was on a TV show and he was speaking about this. So this is Project Bluebeam, right?
Terrifying secret. A plan by world leaders to fake an alien invasion, rewrite our history, hijack our faith, and lead us to a one-world order. 2 years later, he was dead after a suspicious interrogation with the police. Coincidence? Or did he know too much? I will leave that to you to decide by the end of this video. Today, his predictions aren't just...
I'm not whispering. They call me whispers. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Fuckers.
Just coming true. They are already happening all around us. This is a real, true life story of Project Bluebeam. Serge Monast called it Project Bluebeam. It would happen in 4 stages. The first would rewrite history itself. The second would...
Okay. So look. Is this what was happening? So there's 4 stages, right? So I'm familiar with this, right? So what are the 4 stages? He's gonna break them down, right?
Serge Monast called it Project Bluebeam. It would happen in 4 stages. The first would rewrite history itself. The second would rewrite what we see. The third would take over our thoughts. And the fourth would make us beg for the New World Order. It sounded crazy. Most people said so. But he didn't flinch. He published pamphlets, gave speeches, and even gathered a small following of believers who claimed he wasn't speculating. He was leaking. And in 1994, he went public with his most explosive claims yet. Nobody believed.
1994. Because a lot of these plans are written way before they happen. It's like the plan is there, and they're getting everybody together to be able to do this. So is this one of the things that is happening? So okay, like AI Atlas, that's one of the things that is happening now. It's like it's being like everywhere. Everybody's talking about it, right?
him, but he started being followed, watched, harassed, arrested twice. His children were taken by the state, allegedly because he was indoctrinating them. He continued to write, continued to speak. He said time was running out, that the pieces were already in motion, that something huge was coming. Then in December 1996, Serge Monast died suddenly of a heart attack. He was 51 years old. His family said he was in good health, that he hadn't been sick, that he died just hours after being visited by police. His followers believe he was silenced. His documents were seized. His final notes disappeared. And the mainstream media, as expected, ignored the entire story. Today, nearly 3 decades later, the world has changed in ways Monast couldn't have possibly predicted. But somehow the pieces are still lining up. And slowly, quietly, people...
This is it. Project Bluebeam. Yeah.
People are starting to take Monast seriously. They're not asking if Bluebeam is real, they're asking if it's already begun. But what even was the Bluebeam project, and how will it begin?
Do I think that it's been good? Yes, it's happening now. Yes. Because because they're talking about UFOs in Congress, and they're showing all this shit, and now we have a whole big event that's going to be happening, right?
If you want to control what people believe tomorrow, you have to destroy what they believe today. That's how Serge Monast described the beginning of Project Bluebeam. Before the sky opens, before the fake miracles, before the fear. The very first step, he claimed, would be to shake the foundation beneath us, to make us doubt the very things we think we know are true. And that starts with faith. Monast believed religion wasn't just a spiritual force, it was a political one. One of the last great obstacles to a truly global system. Different gods mean different laws, different histories, different loyalties. You can't have a one-world government without a one-world belief system, and you can't have that unless you first discredit the old ones. But the plan wasn't to burn churches or ban sacred texts. No, this was subtler, smoother, scientific. Monast described an international push to uncover archaeological discoveries, carefully planted or strategically revealed, that would appear to rewrite everything we know about religion. Ancient tablets, inscriptions and buried scrolls, all designed to paint our current faiths as primitive misunderstandings. He said these findings would suggest that Jesus, Muhammad, Moses and Krishna weren't divine messengers, but parts of an elaborate historical metaphor, or even alien visitors misinterpreted as gods. The story of mankind would be reframed as a long, confused search for meaning, one finally solved not by faith, but by evidence. The Vatican, Monast warned, would play a key role. He believed the Catholic Church had already uncovered documents and artifacts that challenged its own teachings and locked them away. He pointed to the secret Vatican archives, a 50-mile maze of sealed corridors containing records that date back over 1,000 years. Only a handful of scholars are allowed inside each year, under strict supervision. If any form of truth were ever discovered that could undermine the church, would they release it? Or bury it? Now imagine that secret knowledge suddenly surfacing. Imagine a global press conference, with a pope or religious leader announcing a new understanding of faith based on new findings. Not an attack on God, but an upgrade, a reinterpretation, the beginning of a unified spiritual truth. And the world would eat it up. Not because they're brainwashed, but because the idea of being on the cutting edge of history is irresistible.
EVE Online is a vast universe. Alive.
People want to
I got Resendez. I got Resendez beating pretty much all of these dudes. I think Resendez can beat Berlanga, Mongia, Plant. Well, he already beat Plant. What's his name? From Africa. He just had a fight not so long ago. I think he beats him too. He beats all of these dudes. Resendez beats all of these dudes, in my opinion. What the fuck is his name? What the fuck is his name? He just won too. He just had a fight. He's from Africa. Yeah, no, I think he beats all of them. I think Resendez beats all of them, in my opinion. I don't know. Look at 168. I think Canelo comes back and beats and gets a belt again. Just imagine if Canelo just come back. Yeah, that would be crazy. If Canelo does come back and gets another belt again, right? Because I think Crawford is gonna let those belts go. It's just a matter of time. He's gonna let them go unless he's not fighting. But that's it, right? Canelo gets a belt again. Well, so Canelo would go back. Okay, Canelo can still make money. He will still be able to make money, in my opinion. Like, people still want to see him fight. He does have a UK fight that he can make. So he has options. We will see. So, I don't know. Will he be at the top of the list? I don't think that he's not. Okay. I think Canelo can still beat those dudes at 168. Those big guys. Except BBB. What? I think we do want to see him fight. I think people do. They still want to see Canelo fight. Canelo can still fight in the UK, in Japan, Mexico. He can still fight. It won't be for like a significant belt or anything like that. Well, I think he can get a belt. Bud Benavidez Bivol. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. BBB, yeah, Bud Benavidez Bivol. Well, he's not gonna be fighting Benavidez because Benavidez is at 175, and I don't think he's gonna go up to 175 anymore. I don't think he should go up to 175. If he just got beat by a 145 pounder, why go to 175? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I think it is now. It's starting to select your opponents, and that's the time. Go on the retirement course. I do not know. Talk to fans, that's what they want. They want that. Yeah, but what happens if he loses to all three of them? If he loses to Bud, if he loses to Benavidez, and he loses to Bivol, that's okay. So he already has what? 3 losses, right? That's gonna be another 3 more. That's 6. But it is what it is. He will make money. Ah, yeah, okay. There I go. Yeah, wait. He's been on the world tour for a long time now. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It is good. It's good. That's what happened. Ah, that's what's happening. We'll see. We'll see. So he's getting the operation. Now he got the operation. He will be back next year. Will he be fighting Bud immediately? I don't think he should. I don't know. Whatever. Let him do his thing. Canada don't take pay cuts. And the only fights paying, against big names, especially Bud, yes, big payday. Bivol, big payday. Benavides, another big payday. But are you gonna chase Benavides at 175? That's gonna be crazy. We shall see. For me, like, I think Canelo's done enough. He's done enough, so we shall see. Let him do his thing. And Billy, yeah, I think he will beat Billy. I think he beats Billy. I think who did you just say? Resendez beats Billy. Resendez beats Billy. What's his name was beating him with one hand? What was that dude? He fought Billy with one hand. He's like what the fuck is his name? And then Billy's last fight. But why? So that's the thing. And Billy's not a name though. Lester. No. That was a different one. It was before Lester. It was before him. No, it was like a Russian. What the fuck was his name? It was before him. So I think what's his name will beat both of them. Lester Martinez and Billy. What's his name will beat them both. Resendez will beat Lester Martinez and Billy. There was somebody else that Billy fought before Lester. What the fuck was it? Derevchenko. He was giving him work with one hand. And Billy's not that guy. Come on now. You really think that Billy will ever take over 168? Y'all crazy. Top name doesn't mean that he's a top fighter. And Billy is not that guy. Derevchenko was putting hands on him with one hand. You want to pull it up? I swear to God. Why am I making me talk about boxing? I don't even want to talk about boxing. That was it. No? You didn't see that fight? Gonna act like it didn't happen? Hold on. Let me try to find my fight. Let me try to find this shit. Yeah, but he can be, but it doesn't mean that he is. He's not that good, and Billy's not that good. In my opinion, he's not that good. And Billy is not that good. I'm sorry, he's not. I've been watching boxing long enough. He's not that good. And Billy, look up Billy versus, like I said, Sergey Derevchenko.
Listen up, foot.
Derevchenko was fucking hitting him with one hand. Yeah, you can be rated. Yes, you are rated, but like, in my opinion, it's not enough. Derevchenko was able to beat him. Canelo versus Ross, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. I don't think that it would be wise. or Pacheco. Pacheco's not ready. He's too green. Canelo versus it would be Canelo versus what's his name? They're gonna have a rematch. The two. They're gonna. So if he's on the last go away tour, Canelo's has he needs to have somebody that's beatable with a big name, and that's going to be what's the dude that Connor Ben's fighting? What the fuck's his name? That would be him. That would be the guy. It's gonna be celebrity fighting if he resorts to doing that. I don't know. Do we actually boo boo? No, nah. I do not know. I don't know. I look. I don't want to. I'm not gonna speak on Canelo because I don't think that Canelo would take these softball types of fights. Charlo, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But see, okay, so you would have to look at also Tycho. Who can they negotiate with? I'm talking about who can, cause like you have to remember, Charlo's also Boo Boo. What contractual agreements you have to think about that? Who does the Zone or who does Canelo fight for? Right? We shall see. Who's gonna fight? No, it won't happen because Canelo won't be ready up until next year. Canelo won't be ready, so they're talking about Canelo fighting in late next year. No, it's 2. So it was 4 before. Now he has 2. So it was 4 before. Then he got that what's his name? The Cuban fighter. Then he had Crawford. Now he has 2 more fights. So we shall see. Eubanks Jr. would be 1. Then maybe what's his name? Not Pacheco. Pacheco's not ready. Pacheco would get beat. Come on now. Pacheco is fucking timid. Pacheco doesn't fight. He doesn't throw punches. He tries to box. He tries to fucking be elusive. It would be hold on. You just named him Shiraz, right? Shiraz will get beat too. 2 fights left. Yeah. They're still green though. All of these dudes are green. Pacheco's green. Shiraz is green. I'd rather see these guys mix it up. I'd rather see Pacheco, Rosendez, Shiraz, and Billy. All of these dudes mix it up. And then maybe a year from now. Because, so, is there a time limit? No. Hold on. You can say no one is worthy when Canelo just got scraped by welterweight. Well, he got beat by an elite fighter. He got beat by an elite fighter. You can say that. See, a fight for me, a fight is a fight. Like if I fight somebody, because I'm always been smaller than most of the people around me, I don't think it's disadvantage. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna beat you. My skills will beat you. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was beating on guys like fucking like Oscar De La Hoya, like Sugar Shane Mosley, bigger guys. He was smaller and faster. So you're always gonna see that. It's happened. It happens all the time. Canelo was able to beat these dudes that were bigger than him because he was faster than he was. He was more mobile and more agile. So Crawford did the same thing to him. It's the same thing. It's the same logic. That's all. I can say that nobody's worthy because it doesn't make no sense. Like, okay, none of these dudes, like, okay, if you look at Billy, you look at Pacheco, Shiraz, have they really brought their name up to be significant? They haven't. To actually be able to say like, oh, I deserve a shot. They should be fighting amongst themselves already. They should already be doing that. They should already be trading. They should already be like the number one contender. None of these dudes are like in my opinion, the one, right? And Billy should have beat these dudes already. Pacheco hasn't even done none of that shit. None of them have interchanged or fought each other to make themselves relevant. You don't get an immediate shot. Doesn't happen that way, in my opinion. Okay, we'll let him fight. So, okay. He's a 168 fighter. KOZZIE, those are the names in that division. What do what? Okay, yeah, no, okay, you're right. But at the same time, let me see it. Let me see this. We don't have options. I don't. It's not about me. Okay, so if Canelo's not gonna come back at least until September of next year, so you mean to tell me that Billy, Pacheco, Shiraz, they can't fight? Look at when was the last time they fought. Shouldn't they be fighting? Shouldn't they be closing the gap? Shouldn't they be fighting each other? Shouldn't they be getting closer to be the one? So see, this is the logic, Tycho. You think that they should all be waiting and only accepting and waiting for Canelo to get that opportunity? No. Right? I think that logic is flawed. That logic is, oh, well, I could be next to be fighting Canelo and I'm going to wait and I'm not going to fight. What is it? 3, 4? All of them. Look at Bubu Andrade. Bubu Andrade can be in the mix. Bubu Andrade can fight all of them. Jonathan can move up to 168 and fight one of these dudes. That's how it's been working. In that logic, how has that worked out, Psycho? How has that logic worked out? So you mean to tell me these dudes are gonna wait 1 year until Canelo comes back and they're going to decide who they're gonna fight? Why can't Billy fight Pacheco? Why can't these Shiraz fight any of these dudes? Okay, well, that is what it is. So, but that's the right. You could say that none of these dudes deserved it, but the management, the promotional companies, how they maneuver them, they were able to get them to those fights. Some of these fighters won't be able to get those fights. Even that Crawford fight made no sense. Yes, a lot of them did it. It made money though. It is what it is. Okay, but I'm not going to disagree with you that these fights didn't make no sense. What I'm going to disagree with you is that they cannot wait for Canelo to come back and decide who he's going to fight. That's the only logic that I have. You cannot. Shiraz, Resendez, all and Billy, They can't be waiting on Canelo payday. They don't have the luxury to do that. It's not gonna happen. Crawford could afford it. Yeah, I think so. I think Eubank, Shiraz, yeah. Yeah, that is. I think that it would be the list. I think you said it right. Yeah, he did mention those names, and those are all paydays. So if you're going to go out and you're going to finish your career, those paydays would be the ones, right? Those are the ones that are going to get you the most paydays. Eubanks in the UK, Canelo said that he wants to do that. That would be a good fight for him to come back for, right? Shiraz, Crawford, I think it would be Crawford. He only has 2 more fights that he needs to fight. Crawford get to get back. So Eubanks would be the one that's you would get to see if your hand is back, you're healing. And then Crawford. It is what it is. We shall see. Okay. Don't distract me.
Feel like they're part of the generation that finally figured it all out. Monas claimed this was exactly how they'd get us. Not by force, but by curiosity. It's not a stretch. Look at the real-world examples that followed long after Monas's death. Göbekli Tepe, discovered in Turkey in the 1990s, rewrote timelines entirely. Older than...
Yeah, this is wild. So I don't... So what is it saying that they knew about this? I don't think anybody knew about this. They're discovering certain things underneath forests, underneath deserts, underneath a whole bunch of different fucking shit. So I forgot how to pronounce it. Göbekli Tepe, whatever this is, right? Göbekli Tepe
would eat it up.
Right.
Not because they're brainwashed, but because the idea of being on the cutting edge of history is irresistible. People want to feel like they're part of the generation that finally figured it all out. Monas claimed this was exactly how they'd get us. Not by force, but by curiosity. It's not a stretch. Look at the real-world examples that followed long after Monas's death. Göbekli Tepe, discovered in Turkey in the 1990s.
Göbekli Tepe. Right. Okay. So this was also one of the few archaeological discoveries that happened in modern times. This actually happened in 2000 something, right? But now they also discovered, like in Egypt, they discovered a city underneath the pyramids.
1990s, rewrote timelines entirely. Older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. Advanced stonework, astronomy, and religious carvings.
See, that's the thing. I don't think that this is older than the Egyptian pyramids.
At a time when we were supposedly just hunter-gatherers, it raised a disturbing question. What if religion didn't evolve from civilization, but the other way around? Then there were the Dead Sea Scrolls, some of which contained apocryphal or contradictory accounts of Old Testament events. The Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Mary, all texts that questioned the long-accepted biblical canon.
Yeah. I've been watching news. Yeah.
And yet, many remained hidden for decades before being released to the public. Some still haven't. Then there's the rise of pop culture pseudo-history. The History Channel's Ancient Aliens introduced millions to the idea that ancient gods might have just been visitors from another world. It's easy to mock. But once that idea is planted that the divine could be misinterpreted technology, it's hard to unthink it. Monas believed that was the point. Once belief is blurred...
Yeah, it would eventually happen. Yes. Okay. You think about it, Tycho. If you are a superpower and you eliminate this whole entire like, oh, don't do these to these people. I don't see why. Like, okay, why wouldn't we go and invade and take fucking Venezuela's oil? Cause like, okay, by 2027, we're going to be going to World War III will happen by 2027. China will invade Taiwan. It's already like they're already planning to do that. And by 2027, China will invade Taiwan, right? So all of that region, that area, Russia, Ukraine, China, all of that area is going to be active. So if we stop the like maneuvering of oil to the United States, why wouldn't we get it from Venezuela? So, because like we're getting from our oil from overseas when you can get it from Venezuela, take that shit over. Reserve currency, okay, right? Yeah. Well, how do you prop the dollar? You prop the dollar by oil. Who has the largest reserves in the world? It's Venezuela. Honestly, you wouldn't take over that? Yeah, it's about power through petroleum, yes. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world and is closer to us. Why wouldn't we take over it? Why wouldn't you take over it? I'm just saying. It could be peaceful. It can be either or. It can be peaceful or whatever it is. That's what's happening. Yes, I do. I have been seeing the news, right? The United States is moving in. They have everything. 10% of the naval ships are parked right near Venezuela. Yeah, they're gonna take over that shit. Well, Nigeria's okay. Have been seeing what's going on with Nigeria too, right? If they are committing, what is it, human rights, they're killing people. They're doing that. Shouldn't we? So isn't that what NATO is supposed to be about? Like NATO, the United Nations, all of these people, shouldn't they be stopping like people just getting killed like that? Humanitarian work. What if other superpowers get involved in World War III? It's happening now. It is happening. I'm telling you, World War III will be between China and what the fuck is it called? Yeah, it's a power move. Yeah, all of these things are power moves. Yeah, it eventually will happen. Bro, this war is going on all over the place. No, 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 no. It's China and what's the little island next to China? Ah, they will take over it. They want it back. Ah, what the fuck is it called? It's right off of China. That's where World War III will happen. So okay, let me look at it. Look this shit up. Taiwan, yes. So you know what Taiwan actually produces? Taiwan produces the world's. They manufacture some of the chips like Nvidia, all those chips. They manufacture all of them. Yep. I think it's Taiwan TMC, something like that. They produce the microchips. They produce like Nvidia. All those microchips come from there. They have one of the only manufacturing companies now. By 2027, we will have one already here. It's already here. So TMC is already producing the chips here in the United States, but it's not ready yet. It's not fully functional. By then, it will be. Okay, here we go. You gotta look this shit. TMC company. See, I was gonna disturb him, distracted me with this shit. TMC. Computer chips. Okay, watch. Bro, this TSMC. Okay, here we go. So this is what they're gonna be fighting about. Because it's only one now in the world that's producing these chips, and it's in Taiwan. So until we're able to produce it here, and they're doing that, I think
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside. Here's how it works. First, go to Riverside.
If I'm being honest,
so it is in Texas, I think. The next one's going to be there. There we go.
I don't know how semiconductors work, and I don't really understand all the processes that go into making them. You're telling me that you grow a crystal, slice it up using diamond, then shoot an ultraviolet beam at it, and
you see how complicated this shit is? We're not able to do this shit. All of this shit is being done in Taiwan.
Understand all the processes that go into making them. You're telling me that you grow a crystal, slice it up using diamond, then shoot an ultraviolet beam at it, and suddenly it can compute? You might as well be inscribing runes on an ancient stone and casting a spell on it to make it think. I know one thing though, that wizard casting the spell is most likely Taiwanese. That's because around 60% of the world's semiconductors are made on the relatively small island of Taiwan, over 90% if you only count the most advanced ones. But saying Taiwan is the world...
That is it. That's the one. So look at Nvidia. I think Nvidia's it's gonna be one of the first $1 trillion companies.
World's dominant chip manufacturer is a little like saying me and Warren Buffett have a combined net worth of around $150 billion, which is true. For Taiwan, it's TSMC and the rest of the island's companies. Taiwan accounts for 70% of global foundry revenue, any money made from the manufacturing of chips, but the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company alone accounts for 65% of it. And its market dominance has only grown since the AI boom, where it accounted for only 55% of market revenue at ChatGPT's launch. Put simply, TSMC is one of the world's most advanced semiconductor makers. It has the world's best technology, best facilities, and best engineers to make the most cutting-edge semiconductors. The company did this by being the first true foundry model business. In the early days of the integrated chip revolution, companies like Intel, Texas Instruments, and IBM both...
Okay, see that? So all of this shit is happening from there. So there's no other, like, okay, if you look at all these semiconductor manufacturing laboratories, because, like, it's a lab. Like, these motherfuckers are fully, like, there's no speck of germs or nothing like that, bro. This is crazy. There's only one in the world currently.
Designed and manufactured semiconductors themselves. But as chips were stuffed with more and more transistors, roughly doubling every 2 years to now billions per chip, it was becoming ever harder for these companies to keep up with the new technologies and manufacturing costs. At the same time, they were losing significant market share to Japanese companies. To protect their profits and competitiveness, many of these companies started to outsource the manufacturing process to Asia, while keeping the more lucrative design sector in America. This is TSMC's foundry model, focusing only on the manufacturing of chips, taking requests from large companies who can't justify building their own fabs. Now, Taiwan was not an obvious choice to outsource to. From the Dutch colonization of the island to the Japanese occupation, Taiwan's main export had been sugar. It was a very poor agricultural country, having roughly the per capita output of a sub-Saharan African country. But after the Chinese Civil War and Communist victory, its history radically changed when the Nationalist Republic of China fled to Taiwan in 1949, along with over 2 million refugees. Aided by the American government, the country set out on an ambitious land reform effort, without the deaths that mainland China's reform caused. This increased total agricultural production, giving the KMT government more control over the countryside and more leeway to invest in areas outside of farming. The KMT was quite domineering in this period, declaring martial law for 4 decades while jailing and executing thousands of political dissidents. And yes, they dominated the economy too. In an attempt to industrialize Taiwan, the government put up import restrictions while subsidizing large corporations. But because they were so poor, most of these subsidies came from American aid, up to 40% of their total investment. Then, in the 60s, this was sharply reduced as Taiwan shifted to an export-oriented growth model.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
I gotta try that. I gotta try that. Hold on, let's go. We see that? So, bro, it became a superpower. And this is nuts. The shit that they're using in Taiwan, and the fact that it's only one of few fucking manufacturing companies that can do this shit, it is nuts. So TSMC is supposed to be opening up another company here in the United States. It's not ready yet though.
Taiwan became known for cheaply made, small manufactured goods, with companies like IBM starting to outsource assembly to Taiwan during this period. The government initiative that placed Taiwan at the center of global affairs didn't start until the 70s, when Taiwan opened the Industrial Technology Research Institute. This was part of an explicit plan to create a new semiconductor industry after experiencing the shocks of the oil crisis. The government lured the world's best electrical engineers, mostly those who had studied in the US, to come and create this new industry. Its first attempt, the United Microprocessor Company, worked, but found it hard to acquire technology from other countries' protections. To this day, UMC is still a top 5
TSMC, Samsung, SMIC, UMC, bro.
foundry. The next attempt was spearheaded by Morris Chang, who had moved to the US when he was 18 to study English literature before realizing he wanted to make money and started a career as a transistor engineer at Sylvania. Here, he was reported to make dozens of transistors an hour. Dozens! Chang ended up working for Texas Instruments in 1958, helping to pioneer the mass production of chips. Here, TI focused on building their own consumer electronics from start to finish, but after he was snubbed for the CEO position, he quit after 25 years and after a brief stint at General Instruments, would take the Taiwanese government up on its offer, going to work at the ITRI. In 1987, Chang founded TSMC with the goal of offering a foundry model for American and too costly for Silicon Valley startups to build themselves. This would let them gain an early market share and increase it via the outsourcing efforts. From the start, the Taiwanese government had also funded the company. Through the National Development Fund, they owned 48% of TSMC at its initial public offering. Philips, a Dutch electronics conglomerate, owned 28%, and the rest was held by private investors, mainly wealthy families the government had persuaded into buying. Chang, the engineers, and the investors have made TSMC into one of the world's most profitable and important businesses, a top 10 company by market cap, sitting up there with
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's the dude that builds all the rest of the shit.
big shots like Meta and Berkshire Hathaway. And we love Warren. The typical semiconductor chain goes something like this. Companies which design them, like Nvidia, Google, and Apple, those that make them, where TSMC lies, and those that use them to make this. How do you set yourself apart on the second node? You need a technological gap. TSMC, by constantly focusing on small, real improvements and not trying to balance their money between the manufacturing and designing sector, has locked them into a technological advantage for the last decade or so. For example, they spent $40 billion in research development in 2023 alone. Plus, since they're one of the only companies who can produce the most advanced chips, they essentially get part of the largest tech companies' research budgets too. What else?
That's crazy. Right, so I think they're where are they at? It was like 14 nanometer, then now they're 7 nanometer.
Essentially get part of the largest tech companies' research budgets too. What else are they gonna do? Design these new chips and never have them be made?
Facts. So TSMC is the one that's producing and making these shits.
What else are they gonna do? Design these new chips and never have them be made? The standard size for a silicon wafer
There we go. This is where shit gets fucking real.
is 300 millimeters in diameter, or about 1 foot. That's around 70,000 square millimeters. The wafer is then split into dies, units that the integrated chip will be etched onto. But the amount of dies you can get out of a wafer depends on the size of the transistors inside. Transistors, which
So it fucks my fucking whole brain up real quick. Here we go, watch. The dies?
the integrated chip will be etched onto, but the amount of dies you can get out of a wafer depends on the size of the transistors inside. Transistors, which used to look like this,
Yep.
are now
That's how I used to. So if you ever look at like an old television, that's what the transistor used to look like. Like those little bottle things, right?
measured in nanometers. The most advanced chips use 3 nanometer processes, 1/20,000th the width of a strand of human hair. Though really, when you get this small, it's more of a marketing term than their actual size. You also need to expect that some dies will be unusable due to errors in making them. A single speck of dust could cause a 200
Yeah. So yeah, this is what they're saying. So that's what eventually we will get here in the United States, right? Here we go.
errors in making them. A single speck of dust could cause a $250,000 mistake if it lands on a wafer, why all work must be done in clean rooms. So in
That's where they're at. Taiwan.
total, there are around 1,500 steps to make a semiconductor, each with their own procedures, materials, and equipment. The thousands of these found off of this chain need to be invested in to keep up with the innovation treadmill. Like these machines, extreme ultraviolet lithography machines.
We don't have them. They have them over there. This is crazy.
Like these machines, extreme ultraviolet lithography machines. There is only one company on Earth, ASML, which
That's what I'm saying. It's only one.
has
trying
the
to build them.
capability like this chain need to be invested in to keep up with the innovation treadmill. Like these machines, extreme ultraviolet lithography machines. There is only one company on Earth, ASML, which has the capability to produce and export them. This is what enables anything 5 nanometers and below. making them essential for TSMC's ability to make modern chips.
Only one company on Earth, and it's in Taiwan. It's crazy. You see it?
Each of these EUV machines weighs about 165 tons and costs up to $200 million per unit. That's the price of a Boeing 767 and the weight of 2. A modern fab can have up to 20 of them, so it makes sense for only the most moneyed companies to buy them. Samsung, Intel, and TSMC are the only ones, enabling only these 3 companies to manufacture the most advanced semiconductors. As chip demand has surged with more internet usage, 5G networks, techie cars, data centers, and the all-consuming Ouroboros god we call artificial intelligence, the technology gap between which chips can be used for these new technologies and which can't has grown. So TSMC, which can manufacture all types of chips, has seen its market dominance grow in the past few years. Ranging from 500 nano...
There he goes. So that's the thing. That's why I keep on saying, eventually China will take over Taiwan to take over their shit. Everybody's getting their chips from the same fucking people. There's only one manufacturing facility that can produce that, right?
Nanometer to 3 nanometer processes. Their fabs include 5 in the Hsinchu Science Park.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, so I know a few. Like, okay, there used to be 14 nanometer processors, 7 nanometers, and now they're getting closer to 5 nanometers, right?
In the past few years. Ranging from 500 nanometer to 3 nanometer processes, their fabs include 5 in the Hsinchu Science Park, 3 in the Southern Taiwan Science Park in Tainan, including the current best in the world, 1 in the Central Taiwan Science Park in Taichung, 2 in China, 1 in Shanghai, the other in Nanjing, 1 in Japan with another under construction, 1 under construction in Dresden, Germany, 3 planned in Taiwan where 2 nanometer processes will start, and finally in the US, 1 in Camas, Washington, and a facility including 6 fabs under construction in Phoenix, Arizona. TSMC also...
Okay, so I was mistaken. Thought it was in Texas. Yeah. They're producing more.
has common business sense. It will never design its own chips to prevent any conflict with future customers.
Makes sense. They don't design them, they produce them. So America was what America was doing. They were designing the chips and they were sending those chips to be manufactured in Taiwan.
Don't compete with your clients. Samsung didn't learn this lesson. They had been the original maker of the iPhone's A series processors for...
That's true. So where did the A4, A5, A6, A7, and then now they're in the M3s, the M1s, the M somethings. So that's what they're using for their laptops and desktops. I don't know if they're using them for their phones yet.
For its first 4 generations. But after launching its Galaxy phone, of course using Samsung designed and manufactured chips, Apple sued them for intellectual property theft, winning over $500 million from them and losing Samsung a valuable customer. After Intel turned them down, TSMC would take them up on the offer to manufacture the iPhone's chips, and to this day, Apple is still their single largest...
That's wild. Intel has been losing. Intel is losing.
...customer. Followed by the TSMC would take them up on the offer to manufacture the iPhone's chips, and to this day, Apple is still their single largest customer. Followed by the 4 American chip designers, Qualcomm, AMD, Broadcom, and Nvidia. So despite the fact that Samsung is as advanced as TSMC in chip-making technology, their need to vertically integrate their design and manufacturing into their own products has scared away potential customers. Now, their foundry revenue is only a 1/7 of TSMC's, actually losing much of their market share since the AI boom.
That's wild. So a lot of people don't understand how big this shit is. It's crazy.
Business is fine and all, but it's
That's it. TSMC is Taiwan. Here we go. My bad. Hold on.
without at least mentioning their geopolitical consequences in the world.
Yeah, and how they're produced. Calf. You know. This is the thing. So all of these chipsets, 4 nanometer. So I didn't even think that we were there already. My bad. I know it was about 7, 14 nanometer chips like that. But yeah, this is crazy.
China and America are both in rivalry with each other for military and AI dominance and commercially dependent on each other. Although TSMC may be the supplier to America's biggest tech companies, most of their sales actually go to China. A large part of this is the triangle tech trade, where American companies will design high-tech products, outsource the component making to Taiwan, who then...
Right. So this is the problem. All of this shit. So, okay. The ideas come from the United States. The chips come from Taiwan. The manufacturing comes from China, right? If I'm understanding right?
A large part of this is the triangle tech trade, where American companies will design high-tech products, outsource the component making to Taiwan, who then outsources the assembly to Chinese plants to ship back to America. Though another part is that China is genuinely outcompeting America on key new technologies, like batteries, electric vehicles, and drones.
They are.
Made with and used alongside semiconductors.
Yes. So eventually they won't need us. China won't need the United States to come up with these ideas. They will. So they're already getting the semiconductors, the processors from Taiwan. So they're going to eliminate the middleman, which would be us, right? So if they're stealing, China's constantly stealing the ideas for drones. So DJI, no, yeah, they won't. Eventually, they won't. So you ever see like DJI? DJI is like they make drones. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, they won't need the United States. They won't. They will produce their own shit. They will sell their shit to other countries.
Both governments see their countries' dependence on Taiwanese manufacturing as a national security threat, and both have launched programs to eat away at Taiwan's market share. China does this in their typical way, by throwing billions at it. The crown jewel which has come out of this spending is SMIC, the Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation. Although they don't have access to the cutting-edge technology which makes...
Oh, Josie. Okay, let me see. We need China 50... the 57. Bring those prices down. We crazy. No. The reason why is because they're all these data centers, the price is up because they need these 5090s, 5070s. They need that. So my 3080 is not one of those. So NVIDIA created these non-cryptocurrency type graphics cards. I don't know if you remember that. It was like they created, so because to fight for the cryptocurrency gougers, they created these non-cryptocurrency graphics cards. I forgot what they were called, but I got mine can mine cryptocurrency. It's not a non-cryptocurrency mining card. There was 2 versions of it. It's a 3080, but there was one that can mine and another one that couldn't. So yeah. Okay. It didn't need it since 2019 when it started. Who's the one with the shortages? Because they was sick, sending items to us. China, unlike the U.S., has a focus on independence. We shall see. Oh, calf. Let's go. We're gonna do BF. We're gonna be doing some Battlefield. Let's do it. Oh shit. Let's go. Okay. My boy, I think kind of deterred me from all this shit. I was gonna be talking about some conspiracy theories about AI. Let's do that.
TSMC so competitive, they have become the world's third largest foundry, focusing on 28 nanometer processes and above. From 2022 all the way to their last week in office, the Biden administration had banned waves of the newest chips to China, including NVIDIA's
Look at this. But that's the thing. Taiwan is one of the only few companies that does this shit for everybody. For AMD, for Intel, for NVIDIA. Okay? Look at this. That's what I'm saying.
Administration had banned waves of the newest chips to
Look at that. This is NVIDIA. Right? That's dude. NVIDIA, I think, is going to be $1 trillion. I think they're going to be one of the few $1 trillion companies. Right?
China, including NVIDIA's Ampere and Hopper GPUs, which have become the world's favorite processors to train AI on. They've also imposed caps on third countries to limit the effects of chip smuggling in Chinese black markets. Since 2023, ASML has also...
That thing looks crazy. So, okay, I think you told me about this, calf. Is how they basically produce these chips, right? But here we go.
Also banned the export of EUV machines, and Japan has banned the export of 23 types of manufacturing equipment to China. ASML GPUs, which have become the world's favorite processors to train AI on. They've also imposed caps on third countries to limit the effects of chip smuggling in Chinese black markets. Since 2023, ASML has also banned the export of EUV machines, and Japan has banned the export of 23 types of manufacturing equipment to China. Meanwhile, Biden had been pursuing a China-like policy, also throwing billions at the chip problem. While Trump thinks a more market-based approach, enticing companies to migrate using tariffs is what's needed to spur investment. Either way, investment has come in both administrations. That Phoenix facility mentioned earlier...
Yes, we need that. China, unlike U.S., focused on independence, yes. It's also gap. The company in the Netherlands or wherever it is runs everything. Okay. But are we capable of producing the same type of things that Taiwan is capable of doing? So that is something that it is happening now. They are going to be having those type of facilities, manufacturing companies here to produce those types of what is it called?
Well, is the single largest foreign investment in American history.
Look. TSMC is producing. Is going to be making them.
Has come in both administrations. That Phoenix facility mentioned earlier is the single largest foreign investment in American history, totaling $165 billion across its campus. This will make TSMC's advanced chips down to...
Right. That company is crazy. Low key, that shit is crazy, okay? They're gonna manufacture that shit here in the United States. That's what we need. So, okay. Leave these countries alone. Leave Russia, China, all those countries alone. Be self-reliant. Be self-independent. You don't need them. And stick to this side of the world. Right? That's all. Here we go.
5 nanometer processes in
5 nanometer. Here in the United States, that would be crazy. So it would shrink down the price for you to get a graphics card. So when you manufacture these things in other countries, it's cheaper because of the labor. When you eliminate the labor, this will be automated. I don't think that it would be necessarily like robotically automated. I think that they can do this automation just because of the way that they manufacture these chips.
the continental United States. Though there has been some friction importing the culture of the company into Arizona. American workers say TSMC has an authoritarian culture with long hours, unrealistic deadlines, and berating man.
So Mexicans. Get the Mexicans, bro. Ain't nobody working harder than us. What the fuck you talking about, bitch? What you talking about? You heard what he said?
Authoritarian culture with long hours, unrealistic deadlines, and berating managers. TSMC doesn't necessarily deny this, saying their culture of discipline and dedication is what turned them into the world's leading foundry. It's unclear which exact factors have given TSMC such an advantage in chip making, and without the same culture and organization, it's unclear if the Americans can even replicate.
I'm just saying. We're gonna do this shit. I think that is vital. This shit, so for me, it's one of the most vital things that you can have. Because like if you were to have a new war, right? And you can't get these chips over to the United States. Like, okay, if Taiwan gets invaded by China, takes over every single thing. Takes over fucking. That's why I say that World War III will happen 2027. Because China says that it will invade Taiwan in 2027. By then, you are stopping the flow of these chips, the manufacturing, everything else that's coming from there, and everybody's relying on that, right? But if we can have our own shit, we don't need Taiwan. You don't need Taiwan anymore. TSMC will be here in America and all different parts of the world. Bro, this military shit is crazy.
Here
you go.
American factories with American skill and American labor. And that's exactly what we're doing. As you know, Taiwan pretty much has a monopoly on that market. And I think pretty much is not a term that's even appropriate. They do have a monopoly in.
TSMC.
So is it a monopoly? Or is it that it's one of the few countries that can actually make this shit, right? I don't think it's a monopoly.
Factories with American skill and American labor. And that's exactly what we're doing. As you know, Taiwan pretty much has a monopoly on that market. And I think pretty much is not a term that's even appropriate. They do have a monopoly in.
TSMC is so absolutely vital to the global economy, try to find a piece of GDP made without any semiconductors, that it's been called Taiwan's Silicon Shield. China, who claims Taiwan's territory as a part of their own, has hinted at launching a forcible reunification war this decade. However, since TSMC supplies much of the advanced chips used in military weapons and AI development, which is becoming increasingly militarized, a destruction of their facilities or embargo to China would have devastating effects on them, measured in the trillions of dollars. It also incentivizes America, Japan, and Europe to come to Taiwan's aid if a war were to break out, as they're also dependent on TSMC to keep their militaries and economies running. As China and America build more chip plants at home, it's caused some to worry that the Silicon Shield is wearing thin. If the US can self-sufficiently produce AI chips at home, what's the point of defending Taiwan?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But these companies are being built. They haven't fully built them yet. So yeah, eventually we will have a TSMC type of company well, manufacturing company here in the United States. So you won't need them. But it's crazy that there is one of few companies in the entire world that feeds every single fucking thing. Wild, right? It feeds all of this shit. And I think that eventually we will get to World War III based on that. That's all. Here we go.
Truth is, no country can self-sufficiently make semiconductors. It is a massive supply chain, from materials to equipment to design, that many countries all across the world have quasi-monopolies over, making everyone dependent on everyone else. No country has the capacity to produce all of it inside its own borders, at least if you want the best semiconductors. And to make the best semiconductors for years to come, you're gonna have to come to Taiwan to do it. Unless, you know.
Let's see. I just said this shit, bro. This motherfucker is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Why can't we wrap our heads around this shit? Why can't we do this?
Making everyone dependent on everyone. Truth is, no country can self-sufficiently make semiconductors. It is a massive supply chain.
Okay. Taiwan is ahead of it. It's going to take a long time before we are able, or other countries are able to do it. Taiwan is the best one at doing it. That's what I said. I keep on saying it. 2027 is when China is going to invade Taiwan and take over Taiwan. Why? Because if you take over Taiwan, then you're going to take over the manufacturing of what? Semiconductors. Here we go.
From materials to equipment to design, that many countries all across the world have quasi-monopolies over, making everyone dependent on everyone else. No country has the capacity to produce all of it inside its own borders, at least if you want the best semiconductors. And to make the best semiconductors for years to come, you're gonna have to come to Taiwan to do it. Unless...
That's it. Y'all hear it? It's wild. I don't get it. So, yeah. We gotta build our own shit. Okay. That was one. Yep. Calf. Shout out to Calf. Shout out to Calf. My boy. Okay. Let me invite you in here. Come here. Okay. So now, I do want to talk about, because I got a little distracted. We're going to talk about, we are going to talk about 3i Atlas. That's what we're here for. So yeah, of course, Taiwan, this is going to be crazy. We had a few things we wanted to talk about. Well, 3i
Sora
Atlas
2
one,
is
right?
now on Artlist.
What are we looking at, right?
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna submitted an
Here we go.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna submitted an official letter to NASA demanding they release classified images of 3I Atlas. The images were taken a month ago by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and NASA has been sitting on them. This story has gotten so big that even Kim Kardashian is now asking questions. But that's not all. We also have breaking developments on crash retrievals, underwater UFO encounters, and what might be the largest UAP incursion on a U.S. military base in history. Let's break it all down. As always, I'm here to report the information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey, ufologers, I'm Christina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has actually submitted 2 separate letters to NASA Administrator Sean Duffy regarding 3I Atlas, and the difference between them is worth looking at. The first letter, dated on July 31st, focused on a proposal to redirect the Juno spacecraft from its orbit around Jupiter to intercept 3I Atlas, citing analysis from Avi Loeb showing that applying a thrust specifically on September 14th could position Juno to study the object up close using its full suite of instruments when 3I Atlas passes within about 53 million kilometers of Jupiter on March 16th, 2026, at an estimated cost of about $15 million for a 6-month mission extension. However, the second letter, dated October 31st, takes a completely different approach and reveals what may be the real issue. Instead of proposing new observations, Luna is now demanding NASA release data it has been collecting, specifically requesting the highest resolution high-rise camera images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter taken on October 2nd and October 3rd with 30 kilometer per pixel resolution, which looks something like this. Any supplementary data from Mars's mission that detected unusual activity when 3I Atlas passed within 30 million kilometers of Mars around October 3rd, observations from the Parker Solar Probe, Hubble, and...
This is crazy. My bad. Yo, this is crazy. I do not know what it makes. Like, obviously, this thing is moving. We do not know where it's going. It just keeps on getting crazier. But here we go.
James Webb Space Telescope, and even data on other interstellar objects in NASA's database. And this shift from proposing future observations to demanding existing data suggests that by October, Luna realized NASA had already been observing 3I Atlas extensively, but was refusing to share what they found with the scientific community and the public. Simultaneously, Harvard physicist Avi Loeb also sent a request to Professor Alfred Ekwin at the University of Arizona, the principal investigator for the high-rise camera team, and as of his article publication, he received no response. And yes, after weeks of continuous coverage, the story has exploded into mainstream consciousness. Kim Kardashian tweeted at NASA Administrator...
Okay. Who the fuck cares what Kim Kardashian says? I don't give a fuck about this weirdo fucking bitch. So, I.B. Lowe is a Harvard professor, right? Not this one. What the fuck?
Sean Duffy asking, wait.
So no, I don't care. Kim Kardashian.
What's the T on 3I Atlas? NASA's response? They claimed it is just the 3rd interstellar comet to pass through our solar system. No aliens, no threat. But here's the problem. Around October...
See, this is the thing. So, them trying to make it seem like it is something just that's normal kind of fucks things up, right? So, like, you look at IB, whatever his name is, the Harvard professor. He thinks that it's an anomaly, something that doesn't happen all the time. So it can't be either or. It needs to be somewhere in the middle, right? And Kim Kardashian, I don't give a fuck about her opinion, but it does seem like it's something that we do need to study and respect, right?
Third, observations from the Parker Solar Probe, Hubble and James Webb Space Telescope, and even data on other interstellar objects in NASA's database. And this shift from proposing future observations to demanding existing data suggests that by October, Luna realized NASA had already been observing 3I Atlas extensively, but was refusing to share what they found with the scientific community and the public. Simultaneously, Harvard physicist Avi
Okay, Harvard physicist, right? He's not from like the Malcolm X Community College. He's a Harvard physicist. Does he get some credit? He should get some credit. He's not like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, your community college, you know what I'm saying, you know, scientist or whatever, right? What's his name? What is his name? Here, look.
Scientific community and the public. Simultaneously, Harvard physicist Avi.
Harvard physicist. Shouldn't we respect his opinion? Whatever he says.
Loeb also sent a request to.
That's him. Ivy Loeb. Right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but yeah.
Professor Alfred Ekwin at the University of Arizona, the principal investigator.
All I'm saying is like, okay, yeah, Kim Kardashian, no, you're a celebrity, whatever, but this guy is credible. I don't know why they're mixing the whole entire the two between in the same sentence, in the same fucking thing. Right? Like that's, oh, well, Kim Kardashian said this. Oh, so it's true now. No, but you actually have a scientist, somebody that's an academic saying this shit, right? Here we go.
For the high-rise camera team, and as of his article publication, he received no response. And yes, after weeks of continuous coverage, the story has exploded into mainstream consciousness. Kim Kardashian tweeted at NASA Administrator Sean Duffy asking, wait, what's the T on 3I Atlas? NASA's response? They claimed it is just the third interstellar comet to pass through our solar system. No aliens, no
See, maybe she gets response from these dudes. There's nothing meaningful.
Right. But here's the problem. Data tells a completely different story. And that is why Congress is getting involved. Here's Nick Pope, former UK Ministry of Defense official, explained to Fox News what's at stake.
This thing should break up when it goes to the sun because the sun, as we know, very, very hot. Things go near it, they break up. But if it remains intact and moves away from the sun, that could be a sign of extraterrestrial intelligence. What do you think it's going to do, Nick?
If it does do anything really unusual and it proves to be technological, it will be the biggest story in history. But if nothing else, look, this has got everyone thinking about this as a possibility. And that ties in, as I say, with the fact that this whole subject is now viewed not as kind of conspiracy theory or science fiction, but as a serious defense and national security issue.
Here's what we know so far about 3I.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm crazy, but I think that they said the conspiracy theories. They said that NASA used their military type of shit to try to defend things. I don't know. We will see, right? So that's what they
serious
said, right?
Defense and national security.
Hold on.
This kind of conspiracy theory. With the fact that this whole subject is now viewed not as kind of conspiracy theory or science fiction, but as a serious defense and national security issue.
Here's what we know so far about 3I Atlas. According to research published by Avi Loeb, 3I Atlas exhibits 10 separate anomalies that set it apart from every known comet, including a retrograde trajectory aligned with a 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane, with only a 0.2% probability of occurring naturally, a jet pointing toward the sun instead of away from it,
I'm ready for that.
a nickel to iron ratio.
Right. The nickel to iron ratio. Okay, so this is the data. What the fuck are we looking? I do not know. I can't read this. What is it? Magnitude up top? Yo, you guys can read this. You guys are smarter than I am. Obviously, I'm not that smart. Okay, 3i Atlas NASA images shocking development revealed. Right? This is why it's an anomaly. We don't understand it. So all of the smartest people are trying to figure this out. And maybe the smartest people are not actually being involved with this shit. We're getting a whole bunch of other people that are trying to theorize what this thing can be. And we don't know. Right?
Ratio resembling industrially produced alloys rather than natural asteroids, a nickel to cyanide ratio, orders of magnitude higher than any known comet with less.
Okay, does that make sense?
Resembling industrially.
So, but this is the thing, right? So, all the things, I think that they're using radio waves. That's how they can measure certain things, right? Using radio waves to calculate what it's made out of. I actually don't know what it's made out of. I do think that they say that it's made out of a large percentage of nickel. So it's a huge fucking piece of object that's, right?
Produced alloys rather than natural asteroids, a nickel to cyanide.
Right, nickel to cyanide. And then they actually, I think they say that the nickel is like something that we don't produce here on Earth. Right?
Ratio, orders of magnitude higher than any known comet with less than 1% probability of being natural. Only 4% water content by mass.
I know. Calf, we're gonna take them out. We're gonna hang out with these thotties.
As compared to the water.
No, this is crazy. Bro, they're like
of being natural, only 4% water content by mass compared to the water-rich components of typical comets.
Look, this is how we're looking at them. But yet we have clear pictures of other solar systems and things like that. Like we're just watching this little fucking thing floating around us. So when would we actually try to track something coming towards our universe? This is the moment. This is the one time. So this is the one time that even if this isn't like threatening, at least we're tracking this shit down, right? Because it's coming towards our universe, right?
Extreme negative polarization never before seen in any comet, arrival timing that brought it within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, while remaining unobservable from Earth at perihelion with a probability of only 0.005%. Trajectory originating from within 9 degrees of the 1977 WOW signal, location with a 0.6% probability of coincidence.
Okay. Let's rewind that. Okay. So the 1977 WOW signal, right?
Millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, while remaining unobservable from Earth at perihelion with a probability of only 0.005%. Trajectory originating from within 9 degrees of the 1977 WOW signal, location with a 0.6% probability of coincidence. Faster brightening near perihelion than any known comet, while appearing bluer than the sun, and non-gravitational acceleration requiring massive evaporation of 1/6 its mass, despite post-perihelion images showing no evidence of such mass loss. Elon Musk mentioned in a recent podcast with Joe Rogan that natural asteroids can be rich in nickel, and this is true, but those asteroids are also rich in iron. The problem with 3i Atlas is the ratio. Too much nickel, not enough iron. That is the red flag.
My boy's a nickel. Sounds like my nickels.
Scientists just simply can't explain. And there is much more that we need to cover, so don't go anywhere. We need to still talk about what's happening with unidentified objects crashing on Earth and how the military responds.
Well, how quickly might the government respond to a crash of an unknown object? What happened back on September 23rd on public land outside the boundary of Area 51 is a textbook example of how crash retrievals work. And to no one's surprise, pretty much everything told to the public since then is pure fiction.
Arnu runs the website Dreamland Resort and monitors Area 51 radio traffic around the clock. On the morning of September 23rd, he heard something astonishing on the security channels. And there had been a large but totally secret air operation in the middle of the night, and something had gone wrong.
This... I wanted to play this game too. Eve, this is crazy.
Game. You're not ready for it.
I'm not ready for it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
So we just had an asset.
Okay. All this shit's nuts. Shout out to all the amateurs that are trying to get this shit explained and try to figure this shit out. It is something that we do not know, and we're not being told the full story about this shit. This is fucking crazy.
Go down. We had an asset go down. This is not Creech security, this is Area 51 security. And they had an asset go down. And then the next thing.
Yeah, clear. Also, short behind is the UAV unmanned aircraft with ordnance.
He picked up details about strict security measures which were implemented almost immediately. Not only was Area 51 itself locked down, but within a very short time, so too was a large swath of the Tikaboo Valley.
Within minutes, Area 51 was locked down. Security teams were deployed across the entire Tikaboo Valley. Every road was blocked. Armed military personnel, sheriff deputies, and a military helicopter with an attached basket were all on site. They even brought portable toilets, which means they had planned for a multi-day operation.
But while driving on what's known as Mailbox Road, he ran into an armed patrol.
They had the gun in front of them, not pointed at me, but very visibly in front of them. And it was clear they meant business.
The military graded a road up to the crash site and retrieved the debris. Then, 4 days after the crash, the security team vanished. Arnu went back out for a look, and the Air Force had used heavy equipment to plow a dirt road across a section of the desert. Arnu followed it and found what he thought was the crash site, then shared it online. That's when things got really strange. A second wave of cleanup crews descended on the site, and they used graders to cover up the entire area with a thick layer of dirt. A literal cover-up. But it only gets worse. After covering up the site, someone scattered debris from another aircraft across the area.
Arnu, who was at the site of a genuine Reaper crash years earlier, says there's no way the Air Force could ever recover every piece of a crashed aircraft. So they added some dirt and sprinkled in some misdirection instead.
If I were them, I would probably do just that.
Now, let me take you beneath the surface. Ross Kothar for News Nation has been collecting reports from submariners across multiple nations.
Okay. I think this guy is a misinformation type of dude. That's just my belief. This guy. News Nation. I don't know. All of this shit's fucking crazy. So, okay, we're gonna get back to this shit.
Had a succession of submariners contact me from US, British, French, and Australian submarine services who have quietly told me about confrontations with enormous objects underwater, often travelling, believe it or not, at faster than the speed of sound in water, which is mind-boggling if you think about it. So, I am fascinated by the idea that there are, if you think about it, so much of the Earth's surface is covered with water. And if you were a non-human civilization trying to stay out of sight, but also wanting to monitor these primitive apes up on the land, the water would be a good place to hide.
faster than the speed of sound in water. That is over 1,480 meters per second. The fastest submarine ever built, the Soviet's K-222, could barely reach 44 knots, about 23 meters per second. We're talking about objects moving at speeds that make...
What the fuck does that mean? I do agree that if, like, okay, if, like, some types of UFOs, alien technology would want to come here, they would come here for the water life. Because, like, I talked to my boy, shout out to my boy, Juggernackers. And there is the H2O, the elements in the solar system, but we have oceans here on Earth. In other planets, we don't have them in our solar system. So here in our solar system, we do have life here that would need to be explored or need to be researched, things like that. And water is an energy source.
Our most advanced technology look primitive. Ross also mentioned that there are designated no-go areas for naval vessels in parts of the Pacific and Atlantic. Officially, these are military training ranges. But could some of them be covering up areas of unknown USO activity? Let's connect these dots. We have an interstellar object exhibiting technological characteristics. We have documented cases of military crash retrieval operations that involve cover-ups and disinformation, and we have submariners reporting encounters with objects moving at impossible speeds underwater. All of this is happening while Congress is supposedly pushing for disclosure. Vice President J.D. Vance has publicly stated that he is getting to the bottom of the UFO issue, and that is a priority that he mentioned on Pod Force 1. The newly formed task force on the declassification of federal secrets is looking into UAPs, but NASA refuses to release the high-rise images of 3I Atlas. I'm Christina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST for another UFO news update. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies.
Holy shit. Yo, shout out to her. Bro. Okay. We got a few more. No, it's that, this shit is wild. You're gonna be seeing this shit. The AI Atlas shit is crazy. Well, it's something that we've never seen before, and I think that it's something that we should keep on studying all the fucking time. Like, this is a point where now we need to study this shit. We should continue to study it. So, yeah. Nah, these alien chicks. Where? Oh, okay. So here. So we're gonna go back to this, right? Project Bluebeam. I think this is important too. Here you go.
In 1994, Serge Monast revealed a terrifying secret. A plan by world leaders to fake an alien invasion, rewrite our history,
See, this is what I don't think. I do not know. But it kind of makes sense, right? So this is what we're going through, right? So for how long have they been denying UFOs, UFO conspiracies, and things like that? Now, all of a sudden, it's everywhere. It's mainstream. They're news. They're going everywhere. Government and things like that, right? So they are putting this shit and they're making it available, right? So listen to this.
Jack our faith and lead us to a one world order. 2 years later, he was dead after a suspicious interrogation with the police. Coincidence? Or did he know too much? I will leave that to you to decide by the end of this video. Today, his predictions aren't just coming true, they are already happening all around us. This is a real true life story of Project Bluebeam. Serge Monast called it Project Bluebeam. It would happen in 4 stages. The first would rewrite history itself.
So we shall see. What does he say?
Second would rewrite what we see. The third would take over our thoughts. And the fourth would make us beg for the New World Order. It sounded crazy. Most people said so. But he didn't flinch. He published pamphlets, gave speeches, and even gathered a small following of believers who claimed he wasn't speculating. He was leaking. And in 1994, he went public with his most explosive claims yet. Nobody believed him, but he started being followed, watched, harassed.
Yeah, but you see what? So, Cap, this is what they're saying. Right. Eventually, so okay. So look at what we just looked at. We just looked at 3i Atlas. You know, that would be the one. Oh, there is a mothership because it's the size of Manhattan. Big structure coming through. It's all over the news. We just saw the whole entire thing, right? Then we've seen a whole bunch of UFOs everywhere.
Arrested twice. His children were taken by the state, allegedly because he was indoctrinating them. He continued to write, continued to speak. He said time was running out, that the pieces were already in motion, that something huge was coming. Then in December 1996, Serge Monast died suddenly of a heart attack. He was 51 years old. His family said he was in good health, that he hadn't been sick, that he died just hours after being visited by police. His followers believe he was silenced. His documents were seized. His final notes disappeared. And the mainstream media, as expected, ignored the entire story. Today, nearly 3 decades later, the world has changed in ways Monast couldn't have possibly predicted. But somehow the pieces are still lining up. And slowly, quietly, people are starting to take Monast seriously. They're not asking if Bluebeam is real, they're asking if it's already begun. But what even was the Bluebeam project, and how will it begin? If you want to control what people believe tomorrow, you have to destroy what they believe today. That's how Serge Monast described the beginning of Project Bluebeam. Before the sky opens, before the fake miracles, before the fear. The very first step, he claimed, would be to shake the foundation beneath us, to make...
So I don't think that they're going to be creating fake miracles. The fake miracles is, I think, something that they thought that they would be able to do. Because, like, I don't think that you would be able to create fake miracles. I think that they move past those few steps. The few steps is already getting people conditioned to accepting that there's certain things that they can't explain, whether it's UFOs or things like that. So eventually, the whole outcome will be so drastic that it's they wouldn't be able to explain.
Just doubt the very things we think we know are true.
Because like, that's the thing. This is gonna get crazy. If this is the logic, the anticipation, the logic was okay. Let's trick you, make you believe certain things, but like no, it's gonna be crazy.
And that starts with faith. Monast believed religion wasn't just a spiritual force, it was a political one. One of the last great obstacles to a truly global system. Different gods mean different laws, different histories, different loyalties. You can't have a one-world government without a one-world belief system. And you can't have that unless you first discredit the old ones. But the plan wasn't to burn churches or ban sacred texts. No, this was subtler, smoother, scientific. Monast described an international push to uncover archaeological discoveries.
Which is crazy, right? Because, like, I think this was in the 1990s. I don't know if it was during the time of like Behold a Pale Horse, William Cooper, things like that, like conspiracy theories and things like that.
Carefully planted or strategically revealed, that would appear to rewrite everything we know about religion. Ancient tablets, inscriptions, and buried scrolls, all designed to paint our current faiths as primitive misunderstandings. He said these findings would suggest that Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, and Krishna weren't divine messengers, but parts of an elaborate historical metaphor, or even alien visitors misinterpreted as gods. The story of mankind would be reframed as a long, confused search for meaning, one finally solved not by faith, but by evidence. The Vatican, Monas warned, would play a key role. He believed the Catholic Church had already uncovered documents and artifacts that challenged its own teachings and locked them away. He pointed to the secret Vatican archives, a 50-mile maze of sealed corridors containing records that date back over 1,000 years. Only a handful of scholars are allowed inside each year, under strict supervision. If any form of truth were ever discovered that could undermine the Church, would they release it or bury it? Now imagine that secret knowledge suddenly surfacing. Imagine a global press conference with a pope or religious leader announcing a new understanding of faith based on new findings. Not an attack on God, but an upgrade, a reinterpretation, the beginning of a unified spiritual truth. And the world would eat it up. Not because they're brainwashed, but because the idea of being on the cutting edge of history is irresistible. People want to feel like they're part of the generation that finally figured it all out. Monas claimed this was exactly how they'd get us. Not by force, but by curiosity. It's not a stretch. Look at the real-world examples that followed long after Monas's death. Göbekli Tepe, discovered in Turkey in the 1990s, rewrote timelines entirely. Older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. Advanced stonework, astronomy, and religious carvings. At a time when we were supposedly just hunter-gatherers.
I don't know. I don't think that it's gonna get everybody. I think that eventually we will get together to become space, what is it, like space travelers. That's it. Not this. What are we gonna do? Live in the past? Göbekli Tepe, right? So it's like, when was it? From 10,000 something years old, right? But it's, so are we going to continue to build or carve stones? No, what are we going to do? We're going to continue. So, okay. We've reached the point of evolution where now we're not fucking carving stones. We're using AI. We're using robots. We're going into space. That's what we're doing. Not this. No more. This is done. We reached a point of beyond this. Sorry. Historically, yeah. This was done and it was meaningful, but now we're creating AI is thinking for us, manufacturing for us, doing all this shit for us, right? We should be thinking that we will be going space exploring, I think, is our goal.
It raised a disturbing question. What if religion didn't evolve from civilization, but the other way around? Then there were the Dead Sea Scrolls, some of
which I do appreciate history. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that, like, I think we've reached beyond this point. And I'm saying, so the primitive version of us, now we've reached the this level. It's inevitable. We're not doing fucking stone carvings and doing any of this shit. It's no longer there. We're 3D printing. We're fucking AI generating robotics, things like that. We're space. That's how we should think, right? That's how everybody in our world should think.
Which contained apocryphal or contradictory accounts of Old Testament events, the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Mary, all texts that questioned the long-accepted biblical canon, and yet many remained hidden for decades before being released to the public. Some still haven't. Then there's the rise of pop culture pseudo-history. The History Channel's Ancient Aliens introduced...
Yes! I like that shit. I used to watch Ancient Aliens back in the day. This is some dope-ass graphics. I like it. I like it. I love Ancient Aliens. It used to... So, David Hatchett something. I used to watch him all the time. But, okay. Now, I think that we're going to get to the point where we are the aliens. We should be the aliens. The aliens or the, like, the space explorers. That's who we should be. We're going to carve our timeline because this is the thing. I do think that eventually we will get to that point. So if all time is relative, then eventually we will get to that point where we're space traveling. So now it's our turn. Now it's our time. We're no longer in the building blocks of this shit. Now we're going to be exploring space. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Elon Musk and everybody is doing, right? So eventually we're going to get to that point.
Millions to the idea that ancient gods might have just been visitors from another world. It's easy to mock. But once that idea is planted that the divine could be missing...
Another thing. I do believe that these aliens, the Greys, is us. Because I had this conversation with somebody, right? Okay. Eventually, you won't need a mouse. Because you telepathically can speak to somebody. You won't need a nose. The eyes are going to get bigger. The head's going to get bigger. All of these things, you're eventually going to be looking like this. You're going to evolve and look like this. Maybe it won't. Maybe you will.
Interpreted technology, it's hard to unthink it. Monist believed that was the point. Once belief is blurred, anything is possible. If people can be convinced their gods were myths, or mistakes, or mistranslations, then the stage is set. You've erased the sacred, the spiritual, and left a vacuum. And that vacuum is crucial. Because Bluebeam, Monist insisted, wasn't trying to make the world atheist, quite the opposite. It wanted to replace religion, not destroy it. Once the old truths were discredited, a new, unified faith would be offered in their place, one tailored to a global audience, all-encompassing, all-forgiving, all-controlling. But it had to begin with disorientation, destroy the ancient landmarks, the shared myths, the sense of sacred history, then make people feel uncertain and ready for something new. It's easy to dismiss this as paranoia. After all, religions have weathered storms before, scientific discoveries, historical debates. They come and go. But Monist didn't think this would come and go. He believed it would be orchestrated, a scripted rollout of staged evidence and psychological nudges, designed not just to inform, but to convert. What made this part of the plan especially sinister was that it would feel so reasonable, so polished, so well packaged. There'd be no obvious deception. Just experts, just facts, just consensus. That's the horror of phase one. It doesn't kick down your door, it invites you in. And once that seed is planted, once faith is loosened from the inside, the rest of the plan becomes so much easier to swallow.
Yeah, okay. So, our rationale for humans, do you think that they're going to take over us and just completely wipe us out? Or do we think that we have a choice? So, this is the thing. Would they come down here if they were, they're supreme, they would wipe us out. We wouldn't have a choice. No religion, nothing. Why would they care if we believed in God? Our God is their God. I don't know if they believe in that. Right?
Follow. Because the next time the sky lights up, you won't be grounded in thousands of years of spiritual tradition. You won't have a holy book or a scripture telling you what to
Right. Do they believe in the Bible?
believe. You'll be looking up, searching for answers in the clouds, and someone will be very ready to give them to you. This is the phase that captures imaginations, the one that makes Project Bluebeam sound.
Okay, this is it. Let's hear it. Because this is the only logic, right? So, do I think this is going on? I kind of think so, right? Because they're openly talking about it. They're openly saying that we've had countless Congress open panels that talk about UFO disclosures and things like that. So many people that are talking about this shit. If you guys don't remember, I think these past 2 months they haven't been doing that, or a month. Why? Because the government has been shut down. But now we see this shit. Now we have AI ads coming through. So here we go.
Less like a theory and more like a blockbuster movie waiting to happen. Massive 3D holograms glowing above cities, celestial figures descending from the clouds, alien motherships the size of skyscrapers hovering silently over capitals. According to Serge Monast, this wasn't a prophecy. It was a plan that would use a network of satellites, bouncing laser-based projections into the upper layers of the atmosphere, where moisture and ionized particles could act as a kind of screen, creating enormous images visible from...
That is crazy. Okay. I think that would have been done years ago. I don't think they could do it now. They can do it, but they're doing it in different ways. So
ionized particles could act over capitals, and more like a blockbuster...
Holograms, things like that. Now we know that those things can be man-made. So I don't think you could do that anymore. I don't think you could fool people like that. Maybe in third world countries you can.
Movie waiting to happen. Massive 3D holograms glowing above cities, celestial figures descending from the clouds, alien motherships the size of skyscrapers hovering silently over capitals. According to Serge Monast, this wasn't a prophecy. It was a plan that would use a network of satellites, bouncing laser-based projections into the upper layers of the atmosphere, where moisture and ionized particles could act as a kind of screen, creating enormous images visible from vast distances. But these illusions wouldn't be one-size-fits-all. They'd be regionally tailored, he said, designed to speak to the core beliefs of each culture. The goal isn't to shock people. It is to move them emotionally, to make them believe they were witnessing the most important moment in human history. At first glance, Project Bluebeam reads like a futuristic fever dream. Sky-sized holograms, disembodied voices inside your skull, global mind control. It sounds absurd until you start looking around. Because piece by piece, year by year, the technology Serge Monast warned about in the 1990s, tools he could...
Nah, they did. This guy, he's no longer here with us. Yeah. But see, I don't think that they can do that now. I think that if at that time or closer to that time, they could have done that. I don't think you can do that now. So I think that most people can actually, so I don't think we had the technology to do that. So like now we do, but now that we do have the technology, I think that people won't be fooled, right? Because like, I did a whole entire thing of videos. Hold on. I'm gonna show
only speculate about has quietly emerged, and not in classified labs or secret bunkers, in plain sight. Let's start with something visual, something everyone can understand: the sky.
Okay, see that? So this is in China. Oh, Tokyo. Okay. So you see this? How they can do these holographic types of things? They can kind of do that with a whole bunch of different things. Where? Hold on. They can do this with what the fuck is it called? A whole bunch of different fucking things. Watch.
In Tokyo, a 165'3" D-cat appears to leap out of a building, startling pedestrians. In Dubai, a dragon floats through a cloud of mist above downtown.
With
In
drones.
China,
Yeah, with drones, they can do that with images. They can do all this shit.
synchronized drones form rotating planets, glowing phoenixes, and waving national flags. Holography isn't science fiction anymore. It's a consumer spectacle. Fog and haze projections are now used in concerts, shopping malls, and even funerals. In the US, deceased artists like Tupac and Michael Jackson have returned to the stage as high-resolution 3D projections. Really there. These displays often rely on fine mist or haze particles in the air, precisely what Monast claimed would be used to reflect large-scale laser projections during Bluebeam's second phase. He imagined atmospheric screens, sky-sized displays tailored to regional beliefs. Impossible in 1994, a growing business in 2025. But it doesn't stop at buildings and fog. As early as 2015, scientists began developing lasers that could ionize air particles, creating visible plasma images in midair, essentially drawing glowing shapes without a screen. You're not projecting light onto something. You're creating the light in open space. Fast forward to today, and researchers in Japan have demonstrated free space displays using femtosecond lasers to paint glowing 3D symbols hanging in midair like they're just floating there. Then there's atmospheric laser projection, something weather research
That's crazy.
and military strategists have been tinkering with for decades. Some versions involve shooting lasers into moisture-rich clouds to create temporary reflections. Others explore projecting signals that, when refracted by cloud cover or airborne particles, produce crude but massive imagery, symbols, flares, or outlines. If this sounds like a gimmick, remember, you don't need perfect fidelity to create panic. You just need something big, strange, and unexplainable. It's one thing to see something strange. It's
okay. It's my first time hearing this shit. But yeah, I think I know.
another to hear something no one else can. Imagine you look up to the sky and see a deity, and that deity calls you by name, says personal stuff, and tells you what it wants you to do. You turn around to see if anyone is hearing this, and you see it's only you, hearing a message in your head that's personalized to you, and it feels so divine. This is one of the tricks that would be done. Monas called it synthetic telepathy. Today, it has a technical name, voice-to-skull technology, or V2K. The US military has publicly acknowledged its interest in non-lethal acoustic weapons. Among the most discussed is the use of microwave auditory effects, targeted energy beams that can trigger the perception of sound inside the human head. There are no speakers. Nothing enters through your ear.
No, this is true. This is real. Yeah, you can basically put a voice inside somebody's head. So they use like a radio frequency waves.
The sensation is created by vibrations within your skull, converting to recognizable sounds in your brain. One patent, US patent number 5,159,703, titled Silent Subliminal Presentation System, describes how verbal messages can be embedded in electromagnetic.
Nah, this is older than this. Trust me. This is older than this. This patent is older than this. They've been doing this shit for a long time.
Frequencies and delivered directly into a person's subconscious. not whispered, not heard, planted. The military term is silent sound spread spectrum, and while these tools are marketed as psychological deterrents or crowd control devices...
It's true. No, Cav, I'm telling you. This shit is true. So this patent came out. So this is what we see, what we hear, but this shit's been around for a long time. So basically, they can like use radio frequency waves to fucking put words inside of your head. It's no joke, bro. I'm telling you.
Describes how verbal messages can be embedded in electromagnetic frequencies and delivered directly into a person's subconscious, not whispered, not heard, planted. The military term is silent sound spread spectrum, and while these tools are marketed as psychological deterrents or crowd control devices, their potential for abuse is staggering. Imagine standing in a field, watching a glowing figure descend from the sky and hearing it speak.
Okay, I said this when I was a kid. I was like, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. Right, I was in my house, and I heard a voice. It was in my head. It was in like, it said, "Get out. The house is on fire." Like that voice wanted me to leave the house. And I didn't want to leave the house. I woke up everybody in my house. It said the house was on fire. I'm telling you. Like it, and I knew the house wasn't on fire. And I was waking up my brother, my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to get everybody out of the house. They kept on telling me, "Get out of the house." So it was this. I'm sure of it. Because never did I ever hear anything like that. So it felt like something was telling me that wasn't normal.
Not heard, planted. WW3, titled Silent Subliminal Presentation System, describes how...
So, if you think about it, if I would have ran out, somebody would have been waiting out there trying to get me. They would have figured out that I heard the whole message and would have got me. Trust me.
Verbal messages can be embedded in electromagnetic frequencies and delivered directly into a person's subconscious, not whispered, not heard, planted. The military term is silent sound spread spectrum.
Yep. So there is... So, okay. Let me look up all this, because, like, anytime I say something, it's not based on, like, fucking stupid shit. So, a silent bass spectrum, is that what they're saying? Okay. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, there was a situation. Hold on. There was a dude. Hold on. Watch this shit. He went into a military base. It was this black dude. He kept on saying that he felt like he was being targeted. Watch. It was a shooter. He went inside of a military base with a shotgun. He kept on. He felt like they kept on. He felt like he kept on hearing voices. Yep. This is him right here. Look. I'm not even lying. That's what I'm telling you. But this is no joke. Watch this shit. You're gonna see this shit real quick.
Aaron Alexis, we know, had
12 years ago. I know you guys saw this shit. Watch.
Violent outbursts, run-ins with the police, and police now say he also heard voices. The father of the Navy Yard shooter also told police that his son's issues began over a decade ago when he began to suffer from what he says was post-traumatic stress disorder after the September 11th, 2001 attacks. It all paints a troubling picture of the mind of a man responsible for the deaths of 12 people here at the Washington Navy Yard. I want to bring in Dr. Gail Saltz. She's an associate professor of psychiatry at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Dr. Saltz, thanks for being here. We certainly don't know for sure what caused Aaron Alexis to snap, but when you hear of all these incidents, shooting the tires, saying he had blackouts, hearing voices through the wall, saying that somebody was sending vibrations through a microwave, what sort of mental health concerns?
You see what he said? That's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. All of these things is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what he was saying. He kept on saying that he kept on hearing these shits. Like, listen.
Navy Yard. I want to bring in Dr. Gail Saltz. She's an associate professor of psychiatry at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Dr. Saltz, thanks for being here. We certainly don't know for sure what caused Aaron Alexis to snap, but when you hear of all these incidents, shooting the tires, saying he had blackouts, hearing voices through the wall, saying that somebody was sending...
Specifically. Yep, exactly, Calf. Exactly. Yep, exactly, Calf. Exactly. They fucking drove his ass to do this shit. Look. He said this shit specifically. He knew this shit. Look.
Shooting the tires. Bring in Dr. Gail Saltz. She's an associate professor of psychiatry at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Dr. Saltz, thanks for being here. We certainly don't know for sure what caused Aaron Alexis to snap, but when you hear of all these incidents, shooting the tires, saying he had blackouts, hearing voices through the walls.
Look what he's saying. Navy Yard shooter heard voices. Dude, they were sending that shit. They were sending those radio frequency waves to his fucking head, bro.
Saying that somebody was sending vibrations through a microwave. What sort of mental health concerns leap to mind for you?
Well, you're describing symptoms of psychosis. The hearing.
I don't know. See, okay, I know that hold on. Let me try to bring some of this shit up. You see that this is they've been doing this shit for a long ass time. Watch. What would it be? Radio frequency waves. That's how you get to their brains. And that dude, he just kept on hearing them. Over and over. That's what he said. It's not that I saw this shit a long time ago, way before that situation happened. Right? Let's see. Bro, there was like this whole entire thing is like you need to be certain feet away, and you can shoot that shit into their brain. Okay. It is nuts. What this it has happened. Radio frequency waves to the brain. Explain radio. Bro, you can do this shit. Hold on. Well,
Things through the wall and the hearing of voices, which are called auditory hallucinations, are symptoms of psychotic thinking. And psychotic thinking can be due to, in some instances, post-traumatic stress disorder, but often it's due to another psychiatric diagnosis like schizophrenia, like severe bipolar disorder, and early 20s is a typical time for those kinds of disorders to first present. Certainly, someone who is psychotic should not be able to have a weapon, but I think it's important for people to understand.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. If you watch this shit is fucking crazy. So he just felt like they were constantly like around him. And they kept on fucking doing this shit. He just snapped. They were experimenting with that shit. They kept on doing that shit. Wow, that shit. Give me 1 second. Let me try to find this shit. Let me try to find the actual fucking thing. But yeah, they were experimenting with him. All of this shit was happening a long time ago. Look.
In recent years.
Bro, I do not know his entire fucking background, but yeah, they were testing on him. They were doing all this shit. 1 second. Oh.
Based on family accounts, a source with knowledge of the investigation.
Let's see. Okay. It's not this. My bad, I'm trying to hit up my boy. I am live on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. I downloaded BF3. Thursday. Let's see. Wednesday. What's tomorrow? Okay, here we go. No, this shit's crazy. It is wild. So that's all I wanted to show you. Like, this is what they were. What the fuck is it called? They mentioned that. Mentioned that in what we were just talking about. Okay. 1 second. Boom. Share screen. There you go.
While these tools are marketed as psychological deterrents or crowd control devices, their potential for abuse is staggering. Imagine standing in a field, watching a glowing figure descend from the sky and hearing it speak inside your head. You hear your name, a message of peace, or a warning. You look around.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm telling you. I saw this back in the day. They used like this wave, like these it almost looks like a satellite. They put these like the wave in your head, and you hear these voices. I think that was the best example that I've seen, is that this individual, he kept on saying that he kept on hearing this shit. They kept on triggering him for a long ass fucking time. Whether you believe it or not, I don't know. If it's true, if it's not, I do not know. Okay, here we go. Radio frequency. Well, how would you explain that? Telekinesis? Okay. Telekinesis. Put that wrong. Okay. Yeah, it's any radio frequency spectrum. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me get this one. There you go. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, this shit was crazy. You see it right now. Let's see. See, this is it. One second. Targeted individual scatter frequency. This is what I looked up. What the fuck is that? I don't know. It sounds like a whole bunch of fucking noise. Yeah. Let's see what that is. Yeah. It's okay. So this is what it's called. Targeted individual scatter frequency number 1. Here you go. I'll drop that link right there. Boom. That's what I was looking up at. But it's not that. Trust me, I'm trying to find the right one. Cause this shit used to be on like what the fuck is it called? Like the shows back in the 90s, like they were showing this shit. No. Let's try to find it like this. Okay. Put voices in people's head. Cause that's what they were doing. I know it's there. People's frequency. Oh, here. Look. Telling you, maybe this guy's good. Maybe this guy's got it. I don't know. There you go. Oh. Right there. But dude was getting shit popped in his motherfucking head, bro.
Hundreds of people in the valley say they are hearing voices in their heads. And those voices are being transmitted by microwave or other methods.
Well, several viewers asked us to investigate what they call electronic harassment.
It's true. It's old. This is old.
KMIR 6's Angela Monroe joins us now with what she's discovered. Angela.
Electronic harassment, synthetic telepathy, voice-to-skull technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms.
Yes. You heard that? Listen to these terms. Bro, this shit is old. This is from the 80s. Old tech. Okay, watch. This is what she said.
Viewers asked us to investigate what they call electronic harassment.
To brain to skull, something like that.
KMIR 6's Angela Monroe joins us now with what she's discovered. Angela.
Electronic harassment.
Synthetic
telepathy.
Synthetic telepathy. So synthetic telepathy would mean that you would use some type of radio frequency wave to penetrate the brain. You can communicate it with it, right?
Voice to skull
Voice to skull. That's what it's called. Voice to skull.
technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms, but after searching the internet, I found dozens of websites dedicated to the phenomenon and several Valley residents who say they're victims.
How much more can you invade me than to go into my brain? It sounds
like somebody else is reading the book, only it's thoughts.
We're not having a group.
Man, I'm telling you, this shit. So I was like maybe 7, 8 years old, and a voice, it told me, "Get out of the house." It's exactly what they're describing. It's not like you know when you think of something, it's not like that. It's like somebody telling you, and you don't hear it. You think it. It's crazy.
Hallucination. This is actually something that's happening.
These men all live in the area, didn't know each other before the voices started, and say someone is playing mind games with them.
Mostly it's a lot of derogatory comments about whatever you're thinking about.
Only time I ever had a whole sentence, he said, "This is not about you," which just frosted me. If it's not about me, what the hell am I going through all this for?
Kevin Bond says he used to have a normal life.
I was living in the San Diego area, I was clerking for a federal judge, and I noticed that I was being followed by a whole bunch of people.
According to the websites, what Bond is describing is called gang stalking. He moved to Palm Springs to escape.
I started hearing, as you'll hear, hearing voices and what they'll call voice to skull or microwave hearing.
Bob Stansfield says his experience was similar and
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Brain to skull or microwave hearing. And I'm telling you that this is so. I think that maybe certain people are susceptible to it. Like they were able, like they have the signal to be able to accept this shit. Not everybody's able to, so they pick on them.
Started a decade ago.
They were active in following me around here, and I started hearing the voices a little bit after the vehicular stalking.
Randall Ringer says the voices started when he was undergoing chemotherapy.
The first thing that was said was Randall Ringer. And I sat up straight and I went to into the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror. Looked myself in the eyes, and I said, did that really happen?
Bond says he's found more than 300 victims locally and is tracking others across the state through billboards. In Johnson Valley, a Freedom House just opened to help people who believe they are being targeted.
To many of you who find yourselves the object of covert harassment, that there is hope and that you are not alone, and that we are striving to...
Bro, I never knew of this shit. Honestly, I never knew of this. Like, look at this. Freedom from covert harassment and surveillance. That is nuts. So, like I said, bro, they can basically use radio frequencies to fucking talk to you. It is nuts. Calf. I'm not lying. And I'm telling you, that dude, this dude, he felt like that. He felt like they were tormenting him.
That there is hope and that you are not alone, and that we are striving to find legislation and we're working towards freedom for all.
Derek Robinson leads a national group called Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. He says he knows who's playing mind games.
Rogue government officials that are sponsoring this, also corrupt business officials, and private citizens.
And he also told us how.
Most of it is delivered by microwave, and I believe it's satellite delivered, whether someone is on a remote location using a laptop or next door using the desktop.
Bond says...
No, it wasn't. So... Like back in the 80s, 90s, they were doing it but with like trucks, like vans. They were trying to haul these kids out. They were trying to drag these kids out. They were trying to detect if you can hear this shit that they were saying. Like, if you can hear this shit. Okay. So what I heard is that my house was on fire. So then I was supposed to run out of the house and run to who? Who's gonna be outside? Somebody's gonna be waiting there, right? So listen to this shit, bro. This shit is fucking crazy.
And I said, did that really happen?
Bond says he's found more than 300 victims locally and is tracking others across the state through billboards. In Johnson Valley, a Freedom House just opened to help people who believe they are being targeted.
To many of you who find yourselves the object of covert harassment,
this wasn't like it's not new. It's been around for a long time.
That there is hope and that you are not alone, and that we are striving to find legislation and we're working towards freedom for all.
Derek Robinson leads a national group called Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. He says he knows who's playing mind games.
Rogue government officials that are sponsoring this, also corrupt business officials, and private citizens.
And he also told us how.
Most of it is delivered by microwave, and I believe it's satellite delivered, whether someone is on a remote location using a laptop or next door using the desktop.
Bond says neurotransmitter chips that run off body electricity have been inserted into some people.
And they assign cell phone numbers to them. The cell phone numbers are then run through a computer, and a computer translates your thoughts. This crime has been available to the military for 60 years.
We sat down with local psychiatrist Dr. Alan Drucker to get...
See, I don't think that now, if they're able to do that with, like, what's it called? Like trackers? No, they were doing this shit without that. Cell phones, things like that.
At his professional opinion,
there's no scientific evidence and there's no objective evidence to show that what they believe to be happening is factually true.
So what does the doctor believe is behind these voices?
Information that I found on many of these websites really confirms or is consistent with what I see in delusional disorders.
But these men disagree.
I've been to a psychiatrist and they gave me
No, it's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I'm telling you, it's not true. So he's just saying that it's in your fucking... It's in your fucking... So, the one time this happened, never happened again, right? So, like, oh, he's just trying to brush this shit off. Listen.
Sir, is to show that
this crime has been available to the military for 60 years.
We sat down with local psychiatrist Dr. Alan Drucker to get his professional opinion.
Yes. If you're a psychiatrist and this was to be happening to normal people that not are being attacked by these radio frequency waves, then yeah, it wouldn't fucking happen. But if you are using, they are using instruments. They are using instruments to fucking, to put words, thoughts in your head.
There's no scientific evidence and there's no objective evidence to show that what...
There's no scientific evidence that you can come up with this shit. But there is scientific evidence that they do have this technology to do this shit. My guy.
They believe to be happening is factually true.
So what does the doctor believe is behind these voices?
Information that I found on many of these websites really confirms or is consistent with what I see in delusional disorders.
But these men disagree.
I've been to a psychiatrist and they gave me anti-schizophrenia medication and it did absolutely nothing whatsoever.
However, Dr. Drucker says delusional disorder has no real medical treatment and is believed to start because of disrupted dopamine pathways in the brain.
These pathways then start to fire or get triggered in the absence of actual stimulation of a person actually speaking or the radio being on, etc.
Dr. Drucker says dopamine can be disrupted for a variety of reasons: a genetic predisposition, illicit drugs, and even chemotherapy. These men have their own theories why they're being harassed.
I think that I was targeted because I'm gay.
I reported someone for selling what I thought they were selling drugs, and they were.
Nationwide, this crime is committed about 60% against white women ages from 30 to 38. But in Palm Springs, it's almost 98% gay men.
But it does tend to occur more in populations of individuals who are marginalized or in some way stigmatized in society.
But these men disagree and say police and the psychiatric community need to take them seriously.
When I worked for the government, I heard a lot of people coming in saying, I'm hearing voices through my tooth. Now I look back and I think, are they like I am now and I just didn't pay attention?
For them, the voices are a waking nightmare.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see it like this. I think that is how susceptible you are to this shit. It's like not everybody's susceptible to this shit. You are susceptible. Your waves, like your frequency waves, you can hear it better, easier, something like that. But then they actually target people, certain individuals. I'm saying they have, I'm telling you. So that dude that I was telling you about, that one military dude, he felt like they kept on fucking harassing him over and over and over again. Hold on. Let's try to find him. Yeah, the Navy shooter, Aaron Alexis, he kept on hearing voices. He kept on, like, he felt like somebody was outside of his house. Kept on doing this shit. I do not know. I do know. We're gonna do some fucking Battlefield 3. Battlefield 6. Let's go. One second. Yeah, this is wild. Do I understand how they're able to do this shit? I don't know how they were able to do this shit. So it's the brain to skull. What was it called? Brain to skull radio frequency waves. Okay, hold on. This is the thing. There's another term for it too. They literally said every single fucking thing. Radio waves. So targeted individuals scatter frequency. Right? They do that. Okay. So here we go. Here's another one. One second. So look. These are just examples. I'm gonna see this shit real quick. Like when I say something, I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't want you guys to think that I'm just making this shit up. There's some truth to this shit. Right? Okay, here we go. This is from the New York Post. Okay, here you go. So this is what they use too. So it's a sonic weapon, right? What happened? It happened not so long ago. One police allegedly used a sonic cannon during an anti-government protest in Belgrade, Serbia on March 15, which officials have denied. Listen, watch this. Watch this shit. What it does to you. That shit fucking fucks your brain up. Why did it immediately separate? Like, you see how it separated everyone? So that beam. Watch. See how everybody's in the middle of the streets? That beam went straight across the street. Sonic cannons can emit up to 160 decibels. They sound roughly equivalent to standing next to a rocket launch. Right. It's wild.
Hey there, I am kind of rushing to get this video recorded, edited, and uploaded as soon as possible, and the reason why will soon be obvious, but let's get
Bro, all of these things, I don't think that it is this one. What was it? Skull something. Where's the skull? Words to skull. Radio waves. I think it's the radio waves. Wow, that
voice to skull tech. Voice to skull technology. This is also in the foray of directed energy weapons.
What is that?
The ability to, let's just say, throw your voice into your head, or my voice into my head, or allowing algorithms that now they can blanket a whole geographical area and they can make everybody change their thoughts. If you find yourself where you have to make a decision about something, next thing you know, you catch yourself kind of having an argument in your head with your own voices. Well, the ability to add another one of your voices in there, but have it controlled by somebody else's microphone, so to say, is a very powerful tool. And I think this is a weapon of war. The Department of Defense recently started initiating protocols for their employees, their agents, to discuss Havana syndrome-like symptoms. And on that list is that their agents are hearing voices in their head. This is that technology. Next thing you know, you're trying to make a decision, but there's another Sean in your head that now is actually somebody else's control. And through the manipulation of that voice, they can now push you. Voice to skull technology. This is
Hey, what's up, guys?
And no one else reacts because they're hearing their own message. Imagine
Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about something that a lot of people claim to experience, but a lot of people either brush it off or don't want to believe it. It's called V2K, or voice-to-skull technology. So I just want to start off by saying that the question isn't whether this technology is real or not, because this has already been proven. We already know it's real. The science has been around for decades, and I'm talking about the Frey effect, which was discovered way back in the 1960s. This technology isn't science fiction. It's military documented, and it's been tested. Technology has come a long way since then, and we'd be naive to think they're still not experimenting. So this isn't about guessing or conspiracy. This is about connecting the dots and understanding how things work, and I'm going to break it down in a way that's simple and clear, because we all deserve to know what's happening. So let's start with the Frey effect, because
Okay. Here we go.
that's the foundation of what V2K is based upon. So back in the 1960s, a scientist named Dr. Alan Frey made a strange discovery. He found that if you exposed a person to pulsed microwave radiation, they could actually hear sounds, even though there was no speaker or sound source around them. The sound didn't come through their ears, it was transmitted directly into their brain. So how does that even work, you ask? Well, here's the simple version. When microwaves hit the head in short pulses, they cause the tissue in your skull and brain to heat up very slightly and very quickly. That sudden heating creates tiny pressure waves, kind of like mini shock waves, and those pressure waves travel through your skull and into your inner ear. Your brain interprets that as sound. So this technology isn't magic, it's just physics, and they proved it over 50 years ago. So the military picked up on this technology pretty quick, because if you can send messages into someone's head without needing a phone, without needing a speaker, or without them even knowing where it's coming from, that's a powerful weapon. Now let's fast forward to today. Think about how far technology has advanced since the 60s. We've gone from rotary phones to smartphones that can recognize your face and track your location 24/7. So imagine what the military or intelligence agencies could do with 50 years of silent research into this stuff. Now here's where it gets a little personal for us, because many people have come forward saying they hear voices that no one else can hear. They say it sounds like someone's talking to them directly, sometimes commenting on their actions, or sometimes insulting them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would be somebody fucking with you. They're just fucking with you and insulting you and doing all these things. They don't think that they don't know what they're using. This shit is, it works.
And sometimes giving them threats or strange commands. And this isn't just happening to one or two people. There are thousands of people online and around the world describing the exact same thing. Some are veterans, some are whistleblowers, some are just regular people trying to live a normal life. So could this be part of a covert test program? I believe it is. The military has a long history of experimenting on people without consent. Just look up things like MK Ultra or radiation testing on civilians. So it's not a stretch to believe that V2K is being tested on targeted individuals. And then we have Havana syndrome. This was first reported by US diplomats and CIA agents stationed in Cuba around 2016. They described sudden sharp pains in their heads, hearing buzzing or clicking sounds, and developing neurological symptoms like dizziness, memory problems, and even brain damage. These people were medically evaluated, and doctors confirmed something very real happened to them. At first, the government called it a mystery illness. Then they said it might be a mass psychogenic illness. In other words, they tried to say it was all in their heads. But too many credible people were affected, and the symptoms, they matched microwave-based attacks. Many scientists now believe Havana syndrome could be the result of pulsed microwave weapons, the exact same tech behind the Frey effect and V2K. If it can happen to US diplomats overseas, what makes you think they're not testing it right here at home? So what has the military said about all this? Well, they have admitted quite a bit, just not publicly on the evening news. In declassified documents, there are references to silent sound weapons, microwave auditory weapons, and non-lethal psychological control systems. The US Army, Navy, and Air Force have all done research into psychotronic weapons, which can affect mood, cognition, and behavior using frequencies and directed energy. The NSA, CIA, and DARPA have all funded technologies related to mind-machine communication, surveillance, and crowd control using electromagnetic fields.
This is crazy. Yeah, let's continue. Let's go.
They don't call it voice to skull on paper, but they just...
Yeah, a voice to skull. I think that's the term. And I've seen people use like this satellite type of thing. They just they can literally from few feet away, they can pinpoint that shit to somebody. They can tell them that they can make thoughts. They can
bribe systems that do exactly that. So the breadcrumbs are there, you just have to look. So could someone actually be testing this technology out on you without your consent as part of a secret program? Yes, that's possible. We live in a world where governments, militaries, and private defense contractors test tech all the time on people without telling them. MKUltra was real, radiation tests on civilians happen, so why not this? But here's where you have to stay grounded. Not every voice in your head is from a machine. Sometimes it's your own intrusive thoughts. Everyone gets them. You might hear something strange, uncomfortable, or dark in your own voice, or even a different tone, and wonder if it's someone targeting you. And sometimes you might be right, but other times it's just your mind under stress. That's why it's important to discern what's what. So before you jump to conclusions, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Is this a consistent pattern or a one-time thing? Does it sound like a real voice from outside or a thought from within? Am I hearing it during stress or fatigue? Is this voice clear like someone's in the room or distorted like a CB radio or walkie-talkie? People often describe V2K as unnatural speech, robotic, echoey, metallic, like a synthetic whisper or radio being tuned in. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's broken up or sounds like it's echoing inside your skull. That's the unnatural quality that gives it away. So again, the technology is real. That's not a theory. The real mystery is who's using it, how they're doing it, and why you, or anyone else that might be chosen as a test subject. So let's bring this all together. The Frey effect is real, V2K is real, and whether you believe it's being used by governments, rogue agencies, or some shadow group, people are suffering, and the least we can do is stop gaslighting them. Whether it's microwave weapons, psychological warfare, or both, it's time we start having real conversations about it, because staying silent only lets us continue. Alrighty guys, I hope this video helps give you understanding.
So from my point of view, this is real. And I think they're testing whether you're... So some people are not, they just can't receive the messages. Some people are more like vulnerable. How would I say it? Like you can hear this shit. Yeah, this is wild. It's wild. It's wild. I'm not crazy. This is crazy. It's crazy, but I'm not crazy. It's okay. Okay, if you hear this shit, I'm telling you, this shit exists. It's been existing for a long ass fucking time. They have been able to do this shit. So the only thing that I'm saying is, what are they doing? What would they be doing? Okay, so before I think it was
Let me know in the
it was something that they were able to do. Okay, hold on. It's called voice to skull technology. Let's look at this shit. Right? Because we're not listening. We haven't been paying attention to this shit, right? I found it. It's just been intriguing me for a long ass time. Operation Mind Control. Yep. Here we go.
Victims describe directed energy, microwaves, radio frequencies, or pulsed electromagnetic.
Yeah. I'm telling you, and look. They can specifically target you. They can be across the room and target you with this. It's like it's a weapon.
Magnetic fields deployed with surgical precision. They report searing pain, pin-like attacks all over their body over extended durations, synthetic tinnitus, and voices. Others cite burns, memory loss, even heart palpitations. Often these electromagnetic attacks are reported to react to thoughts. One victim from China managed to make the mainstream news.
An unusual type of harassment has reportedly appeared in China, seemingly taken from the pages of a science fiction novel. Some claim the Chinese regime has developed a special kind of technology used to broadcast information directly into a person's mind. Known as electronic harassment, it's allegedly used to silence those who dare to speak out.
Wang Haibang says he's been suffering from what he calls electronic harassment for 12 years. He explained that it all started after he filed a corruption report in 2008. It was against then police chief of the Wuning County Public Security Bureau inside Jiangxi province.
They observe my mind with the device and watch my movements. They also use the audio function to send voices to my mind, disturbing me round the clock.
Wang says he believes the local police are behind the electronic harassment. He explained that to him it seems that they take shifts talking, insulting, and denouncing him in an effort to spark his anger and make him talk back. According to him, the technology makes it so that only he can hear the noise. He describes it as a never-ending battle in his mind. Wang began in Beijing in 2015. It's taken him 4 years to get confirmation about the technology from China's Ministry of Public Security.
The reception staff of the Public Security Ministry said that they indeed have this kind of equipment. It's very expensive. It's available in all police departments at the county level and above. The equipment can monitor your thinking and send voices to your mind and talk to you in your head.
The CCP hasn't hidden its intention to weaponize mind control.
Alright. Oh, you believe in this shit? What the fuck? So this technology has been around for a long time. Obviously, we knew that. But is this what China is doing to fucking control people?
Confirmation about the technology from China's Ministry of Public Security.
The reception staff of the Public Security Ministry said that they indeed have this kind of equipment. It's very expensive. It's available in all police departments at the county level and above. The equipment can monitor your thinking and send voices to your mind and talk to you in your head.
The CCP hasn't hidden its intention to weaponize mind control. Regime media mouthpiece Xinhua reprinted an article earlier last year speaking highly of the technology's military and wartime value. The article says the purpose of mind control weapons is not the destruction of an enemy's flesh, but of his will. It also says the new technology doesn't require a chip implanted in the human brain. Instead,
No. Exactly. Electromagnetic waves.
Electromagnetic waves, light, sound waves, smells, among other things, can be used. Reporting by Xu Wanhui, NTD News.
Forms of torture are prohibited by international human rights law, so any form of torture that was enabled by neurotechnology.
Yo, this ain't no AI shit. This ain't no AI videos. There's nothing like that. Trust me.
Devices we know would also be prohibited. Our team strongly believes that any form of non-consensual reading of your thoughts and using them against you.
Okay. I don't know about the reading of thoughts, but I do think that they can implant. They can basically send radio frequency messages to your brain. Can they read thoughts? I do not know.
Would be a violation. So
sorry.
Our team strongly believes that any form of non-consensual reading of your thoughts and using them against you would be a violation so invasive and so distressing that it could constitute inhumane and degrading treatment under international human rights law.
The UN Human Rights Council has formally flagged this. So in their most recent report, the advisory committee made it very clear that use of neurotech for torture is a violation of human rights. So that would be it.
That's wild. Neurotech torture. Okay. Gotta look it up. Neurotech torture. What the fuck? Neurotech torture. This is crazy. Neurotech torture technology. It actually comes up. Neurotech enables actual mind reading Obama admin. This was from 2 years ago. Hold on. I'm looking up another one. Okay. HGIC weaponizing brain science neural weapons part 1 and 2. This was from 5 years ago. Okay. As mind reading technology improves, Colorado passes a law to protect privacy. Okay. That's CBS News. Okay, guys. Yo, Calf, are you here? What the fuck are we watching? Bro, this shit is crazy. Okay. Watch this. Look. So there is a video. New tech enables actual mind reading. Obama admins vet and researchers debate. This tech has been around for a long ass time. Okay. Let's look at one that's closer. 5 years. 1 year. Okay. Okay, we're gonna look at this one. Bro, this shit's all over the place. Watch this shit. Oh my god. This is crazy. Oh, red sound cannon. Yep. All of this shit is crazy. Okay, we'll see this shit real quick. Look at this. Wait. Look at this. Look at the wrist. Nope. Yeah. Bruh. Nope. We'll show y'all.
Advances in artificial intelligence.
Okay, here we go. Yes, tortas. You kind of dig. Here you go. I'm saying, we got it.
Advances in artificial intelligence are leading to medical breakthroughs once thought impossible, including devices that can actually read minds and alter our brains to help treat conditions like anxiety, Alzheimer's.
But that technology raises privacy concerns. That's why Colorado passed a first-of-its-kind law aimed at ensuring our private thoughts remain private. Your political reporter Sean Boyd joins us live from the Capitol tonight.
Sean, this is really mind-blowing even to think about. Who has access to this technology?
You know, Karen,
everyone, believe it or not. You can buy devices on the internet right now that can, to varying degrees, decode your brain waves. And the technology being developed by the likes of Elon Musk, Apple, Meta, and OpenAI can change, enhance, and control your thoughts, emotions, even your memories. It's the dawn of a new era filled with promise and peril.
Thing you wanted to do, you can move your computer with your mind, and you can.
There you go. Okay. I was talking about this shit. So yeah, it would be dope. It would be dope if you do this, right? What the fuck? You can be eventually hacked, right?
Control it with your mind using this device.
If you think telepathy or mind control is the stuff of science fiction, think again.
This is kind of like the first consumer-grade brain-computer interface that anyone can have, and anyone can control their computer using this technology.
It's called neurotechnology, and neurologist Sean Pazowski at UC Health says it's revolutionizing healthcare.
Okay, so this girl, she went to school for neuroscience, and I was explaining to her, like, did you ever hear about, like, Elon Musk and things like that? She's like, no. I was like, what the why wouldn't you fucking understand, try to understand this shit? This shit is the future of everything. Neurotech, right? Look.
First consumer-grade brain-computer interface that anyone can have, and anyone can control their computer using this technology.
It's called neurotechnology, and neurologist Sean Pazowski at UC Health says it's revolutionizing healthcare, enabling people who can't move or speak to do what was previously thought impossible.
Right, and I also explained it would be beneficial to people with prostheses, things like that. So inevitably, you'll be able to control everything. So even from computers to limbs to anything, your brain would think of any single fucking thing and make something function. Right?
Communicate with just a thought or expression.
You could use this device to move the cursor to the letter that you wanted, and then if
there you go. If it was gaming, so like, okay, well, what if it comes to gaming? You would be able to do that, right? So anytime it would be faster, because your brain moves faster. It sends signals faster than your hand can actually move. Your fingers don't move as fast as the brain signal would be able to move. So right. Like right now, I could be the best video gamer, but if I can think of something that I want to do, and then I have to wait for my fingers to do it, I think me thinking would make it faster. No? Because then you have to wait for your physical self to mechanically do those things. Right? But if you can eliminate that with using this type of thing, right? This type of technology, you would be able to think of this shit. You would eliminate the physical part of your body trying to do this shit. Make sense?
To do what was previously thought impossible. Communicate with just a thought or expression.
you could use this device to move the cursor to the letter that you wanted, and then if you wanted that letter, you could just smile and give the command to enter that.
This headset, one of 30 devices you can now buy on the internet to peer into your brain and in some cases alter it.
So it is actually modulating and stimulating your brain to help you get a better night's sleep.
The devices promise to not only improve brain function, but identify impairments. Pazowski is using the technology at UC Health to detect epileptic seizures as they happen.
Which we were never able to do that before. This takes out all the guesswork and allows us to change medications in real time.
If the at-home devices are impressive, those being used in the lab are even more so. Our brain waves are like encrypted signals, and using artificial intelligence, researchers have
Because I don't think that we've actually have mapped the brain either. Just like we haven't mapped the whole entire universe or the oceans, we haven't mapped the brains. It's one of the things that's something we're still exploring.
Crack the code,
I don't think we've cracked it yet.
identifying frequencies for specific words to turn thought to text with 40% accuracy.
Give it a few years, and we're probably talking 80, 90%.
That I just think it and AI knows what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Because of the pattern of my brainwave.
Yes.
Not only do words have distinctive brain patterns, so do conditions like Alzheimer's, anxiety, and addiction. Conditions researchers are working to reverse using electrical stimulation to alter the frequencies or regions of the brain where the condition originates.
The benefits are going to be off the charts. Patients are going to...
See, this is good, but it's like years away from now, I think.
Have dozens of more options.
But with the benefits come risks.
It is some of the most sensitive data that you could possibly share with anyone.
Data insurance companies could use to discriminate, law enforcement to interrogate, and advertisers to...
Wow. So, law enforcement to interrogate what?
manipulate. Government, too, could get into our heads and potentially alter our thoughts, emotions, and memory.
What the fuck? What are we doing? The shit? Listen.
It is some of the most sensitive data that you could possibly share with anyone.
Data insurance companies could use to discriminate, law enforcement to interrogate, and advertisers to manipulate. Government, too, could get into our heads and potentially alter.
Look. Okay. Imagine if you were to just click like so like it says like if you click this yes or no thing, you volunteer all of your information, all of your data, everything, right? So like if you have like let's say you have cancer or something like that, and then you click this link, just an advertisement, and it nonstop suggests certain things like food that you should eat, treatment you should take care of, all of your information, all of your privacy is there. It recognizes every single thing that is a part of you, whether you're right, if you're diabetic, if you have cancer, if you have AIDS, if you have whatever, right? Whatever symptoms you have, it's just detecting every single thing. And every single thing, because it thinks the algorithm or the AI thinks that it's helping you, it's trying to help you. So it's suggesting, so it's advertising you to, like, let's say you're diabetic, to exercise. It prescribes the insulin, all of the things. Like every single time that you go online, it keeps on reminding you of things that it can potentially help you. Maybe, I don't know. Would you want that? Do you sign up for that? Does that make sense? Because like that's what it would eventually be able to do, right?
Alter our thoughts, emotions, and memories as the technology advances.
Nobody wants to live in a world where some of these misuses or abuses exist.
While medical research facilities are subject to privacy laws, private companies that are
Because it does do that. It does do that. So like whether we want to think that it doesn't, so like Google does that. It does pay attention. It knows, a lot of things that you don't think that it knows.
Passing large caches of brain data are not. And based on a study by the Neural Rights Foundation, 2/3 of them are already sharing or selling the data with third parties.
Exactly.
The vast majority of them also don't disclose where the data is stored, how long they keep it, who has access to it, and what happens if there's a security breach. Which is why Pozowski, medical director of the foundation, led the passage of a first-in-the-nation law in Colorado that includes biological or brain data in the State Privacy Act, similar to fingerprints, if the data is being used to identify people.
This is a first step, but we still have a long way to go.
And with companies and countries racing to access, analyze, and alter our brains, Pozowski says privacy protections should be a no-brainer.
It's everything that we are. You know, it's everything about our thoughts, our emotions, our memories, our intentions.
The new law takes effect August 8th, but it's unclear which companies will be subject to it because, again, it only applies to those that are using the data to identify people. It's also unclear how it will be enforced, especially against those companies that are out of the country. Pozowski and the Neural Rights Foundation are pushing for a federal law and even a global accord. They don't want brain data to end up like DNA data that people sent to genealogy sites only to learn that they shared or sold it to a third party. After all, the privacy of our mind may be the only privacy we have left.
Yes.
That is true. The only privacy that we do have left is what we think. Right? So, imagine if they could read your thoughts. And it is what it is. You know, you try to be a good person, a nice person. Sometimes you think of some stupid fucking shit of somebody. But you're not going to say that, and you're not going to say that openly, right? But, like, yeah, the thought police will be coming soon. We shall see. All right, y'all. Peace. Let me come back in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That's everybody in the motherfucking building. That's the cycle. That's everybody. Let's get it. Peace, y'all.